Religiously, understand the seven principles of hell. You'll understand the seven demons within you. You'll understand that whole concept. It's a whole metaphysical concept. We ain't go over that, but anyway, so.
Hey, what up, everybody? I hope all of y'all is having a blessed and humble morning. Continue to have a blessed and humble day. Yeah, we still morning. It ain't afternoon yet. Yeah. Continue to have a blessed and humble day, man. This y'all shorty Racheal. I want to welcome all of y'all to the Writers for Life. Brings you the Let's Talk About It podcast show. Today's topic, broken mirrors, broken minds, the illusion of normal. All right. I was listening to Nate the Great yesterday, right? And he brought up a great question, which I'm going to sit here, and poke around, in y'all minds for a little bit, asking y'all mind provoking questions that bring solutions, right? So he had a great question, right? Should black on black crime, right, be considered a hate crime, right? That's one great question that Nate brought up. So I'm gonna pull up his live, so we could hear him up a little bit real quick today, right? And we also got Papa Duck in the building. Social norms and insecurities covering our reality. Is it all an illusion? And here's how. All right. So he's going to speak a little bit on that, right? I'm going to give a little bit of my input on this, man. We're going to have a little conversation. Y'all more than welcome, to join in the chat. All right. Before we do get started, man, let me, let me just put a message out there for everybody, all right? And this is a message for anybody that's willing to listen, man. Like, for those that, if you're listening to this, you are a part of the solution. Doesn't matter if you're a lyricist, an activist, you see where I'm coming from. You are part of the solution, all right? Our ancestors didn't bleed so we could forget the blueprint. They didn't survive whips, chains, and exile for us to turn on each other and call it normal. They didn't sing through sorrow, march through fire, and die with dignity so we could inherit trauma and call it culture. All right? Black on black crime isn't just violence, it's a symptom of a system that taught us to fear our own reflection, a system that profits when we pull the trigger on each other instead of pulling back the veil of oppression, my bad. We've been conditioned to see each other, right, as threats, not kin, to inherit pain, not power, to forget that unity was always our weapon and love was always our rebellion. All right? So ask yourself, if the hate was planted in us, who's really guilty when it blooms? If we're resentencing the trauma they endured, are we honoring their legacy or betraying it? This isn't just about crime, it's about reclaiming the truth. It's about remembering that every ancestor who died with hope in their heart left behind a blueprint of resistance, of healing, of collective liberation. All right? We owe it to them to study it, live it, fight for it, because they didn't sacrifice themselves for us, right? To be statistics, all right? They sacrificed themselves so we could be free. And with that being said, I want y'all to hear a little bit of what Nate the Great had to say, all right? Because I got to, take care of something real quick, and I'll be right back, all right? I want y'all to listen to Nate the Great's message real quick.
Some advice when needed, but again, it's solely up to you on how you move and how you want to present yourself for life. Again, like I said, some people are just scared to fail. Some people are scared to take these type of chances in life. But who's to say you don't take a chance on something and that will be your, that will be your ladder to success. And if you do take a chance and you find out, it ain't all it's cracked up to be, or you find out that it's not going to be the thing for you, you still took that chance. You still took that opportunity. And now you just move from there. Again, when you fail, you learn a lot of good life lessons out of it. You take what you learned from that failure and you try to do your best you know, you try to do your best in your next moves and motivations for life. It's important. It's important to really have yourself balanced all around the board. But you have to build a solid foundation. You have to be willing to say, I'm willing to accept whatever life is throwing at me. And if I got to throw it back, I'm going to throw it back. You're not just going to sit there and let somebody throw something at you. At some point, you got to dodge that. Or at some point, you got to be willing to catch it and throw it back. But again, it's all about how you move. It's all about how you do things. And it's critical to do so. Never sell yourself short. Never let nobody try to look at you as less than. And don't allow none of the negative aspects, or don't allow nothing that you know ain't positive to enter your mindset. The first form of doubt or negativity, it will definitely drive and fuel you in the wrong directions. And it's time for you to start living for yourself, loving yourself, and keep on encouraging yourself to be great. Why would you sit back and listen to somebody when they tell you something negative that you know is not true? And again, for some of you young folks, you will be, you will feel a type of way and feel stifled as far as your growth is concerned when you actually sit back and listen to the wrong type of advice. I got something else I'm going to talk about, and I'll probably talk about it this weekend. But also, I would say it doesn't matter if it's friends, family, or close-knit people. When you are around people who only want to see something beneficial for themselves and not for you, you got to get away from that. Serious, baby. No doubt, serious, baby. Anita, baby. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. But here's a piece of what I was about to talk about. And this goes to some of those parents out there. For some that might be familiar with that show, The Wire, I know I know for some of y'all, you might know the show. Some of y'all, you might not. But for some who are familiar with that show, the sad part about it is that you do have some people out there who are like the boy Naaman's mother. You have some parents, not just the women, but the men too, that will push their children out into the streets because they looking at them as the next meal ticket instead of them trying to get themselves together or trying to just do what's best and do what's right. Sad part about it is when you push your kid into the wrong direction or you push your kid into that type of field, it never ends well. To be quite honest, some of your children are not built to be out in them streets. And that's something you should really take interest into. Making sure that your kid don't lead into that direction of the streets. If anything, you want to try to encourage them and try to push them towards something greater. Don't just look at them as your next meal ticket or your escape. But I'm going to talk about that on another day. Because sad enough, there are some parents out there who are doing that. You're bringing kids into the world and then you're pushing them into the streets because you don't want to take responsibility. You want the easy way out. There's never going to be an easy way out in life. You're going to have to go through specific processes and everything else before anything. But again, you want to push them to be better and not be worse. But I'm gonna have that conversation on another live. Another thing I am gonna ask, and this is solely for my melanated brothers and sisters: do y'all feel that black on black crime? I hate to say it that way because it sounds crazy, but I'm just gonna say it the way you always hear it. Do y'all consider black on black crime a hate crime? And if it is considered a hate crime, how do you feel? How do you feel we should deal with those situations at hand? In my opinion, and just from what I've seen throughout the course of the time I've been here, black on black crime is not just a hate crime. It's self-hate. It's self-hate because, again, you are showing the people, showing the world around you outside of your community that you can't stay unified for nothing. You're quick to try to take each other's lives. You're quick to try to downplay each other. You're quick to try to sabotage and destroy each other. But where's that energy at for our real enemies? And that's something that you got to think about. It's still a hate crime regardless, but it's just showing that it's self-hate and it's seeding through the surface. For those who are in here from the community, that question is asked again: do you believe black on black crime is a hate crime? And how do we try to rectify that type of crime?
Yo, that's some real shit right there. That is a real question that Nate is asking, right? And I feel as though that, I should have had that to my life, right? Speak on it, right? We got Kenny Cutthroat in the building, yo. Blessings, blessings. Big shout out to Kenny Cutthroat in the building. Make sure y'all go check out Kenny Cutthroat, man. Cutthroat Entertainment. Squatters for life, baby. Make sure y'all go check him out. Great conversations, great topics, and bull, man, he is funny as hell, man. He be having all the puti puerquibris on the wall, man, looking like little aliens twerking while the money be raining on the wall on some real shit. Make sure y'all go check out my OG, yo. I love listening to him the same way I love listening to Nate while I'm cleaning, while I'm multitasking, while I'm doing what I gotta get done throughout the day, man. Man, him and Nate, it's a few people on these YouTube streets that a lot of people should check out, man. Y'all say y'all tired of the beef, man. Come join the entertainment, man. They're not just bringing awareness and bringing positive conversations that can build, nations, right? Man, they is funny as hell. Check them out, yo. And they both are surrounded with, people that, Nate the Gray is a poet, a lyricist, all right? And Cutthroat Entertainment, he's got Frankie, he's got Yankee, he's got a few people. He's surrounded with music. So man, if y'all into music too, man, two great people to come into so y'all can hear different types of music, right? If y'all want to leave that bullshit rap, bullshit hip hop, bullshit reggaeton behind and listen to some good music, man, come check out Cutthroat Entertainment, man. Trust me. But anyways, back on topic, right? Broken mirrors, broken minds, the illusion of normal. Should black on black crime be considered a hate crime? All right. And I wrote y'all, I wrote y'all a nice little message earlier, man, and I'm hoping that people listen to it, man. Like, it took me like a little minute to get there. Like, listening to Nate, listening to Papa Duck yesterday, I'm sitting here, I got a poem in deck. Like, I'm sitting here, I was like, oh, wait, I need to write a message for my live so that the audience could understand where, where we're coming from, right? Why we're bringing these topics up, all right? Let's talk about it. Let's have conversations. We're not here to bash or bring anybody down. We're here searching for improvements. We're here making improvement, all right? And we're not just talking. We're leading by example, all right? So let me ask y'all, right? Who benefits from labeling black on black crimes, right, as not hate, and who gets harmed by the omission, all right? And what's crazy, right? The people within the system, right, running the system, is gaining from black on black crime. That's the fucked up part about it. The ones being hurt is our people, the ones that are killing each other within these communities, right? If internalized racism stems from systemic, right, oppression, can violence within the community be a reflection of societal hate? Why does the legal system reserve hate crime status for cross-racial violence but ignore intraracial harm rooted in racial trauma? Is the term black on black crime itself a distraction from state sanctioned neglect and economic violence? And I feel it is. Because in reality, right, if you pay attention, how many of y'all heard of old heads, or real old heads, right, growing up? If you 30, 35, I'm going to say if you're 35 and older, 40, if you're 40 and older, you definitely know what I'm talking about, right? There is no making money when you're in the middle of war. What are you accomplishing? And then half the motherfuckers out here that are fighting today don't have no honor. Can redefine hate crimes to include intra-community violence help dismantle cycles of trauma and its self-destruction? And once again, guys, man, I know these are mind-provocative questions, right? But I'm asking them for a reason, right? Let's start, listen, let a shorty know what y'all think and how y'all feel down below, right? Put y'all comments down below and let's get the discussion started on some real shit. Let's talk about it.
It has to be self-hate because, again, if you can't think to say I could unite with my brother or my sister on something good and we could try to get to a better place, then what does that say about you overall? And honestly, there are some of our folks who don't even identify with us. Again, we see the changes in the mindsets. We know what's going on. But again, how do you feel we should handle the situation? How do we get it to a point where we all get the message and realize we are better together and united than we are separate?
Real shit. That's a real question.
I mean, I gotta ask, what kind of hate must you have in your heart to want to harm your own brother or sister, especially somebody who is trying to make something of themselves? If anything, they should be a blueprint, or they should be an inspiration for you to say, you know what, we could do it together.
That's some real shit. Growing up, listen, I was taught to be there for my brothers and sisters as the oldest. All right. No matter how I felt about what they did that day, right? I knew that deep down because of what was instilled in me, right? And I don't think it was because of what was instilled in me, because even before that, me and my brother, the one that's not here no more, may he have, peace in paradise, right? We've always had a bond. No matter how many times we argued, we fought, right? When we needed each other, we was there. I was like his backbone, his guardian. And, it hurt me like hell, to sit here and give him some tough love. Tough love that, I thought wasted him down, but my brother was far gone between mental health and the drugs. So in the end of the day, I ended up paying heavy consequences, right? But I feel good inside because I know that I was doing the right thing. You see where I'm coming from? But sometimes what messed me up is not knowing how to walk away sometimes. There was a point in time where I had to walk away from my brother and I didn't know how to. And I was drowning myself trying to help him, right? Not understanding that at that moment, he wasn't ready for my help, right? And I don't know if a lot of us are failing to instill that in our kids, right? A lot of people, right? A lot of families, a lot of parents are failing to instill that in their kids, right? They're supposed to look out for each other, not envy each other, not hate each other, no matter what. Especially when the circumstances get rough, y'all are supposed to be there helping each other climb that ladder. Whoever makes it to the top pulls, reaches out and pulls the other person up and helps them get up there. And they maintain each other up there, no matter what. You see where I'm coming from? But I don't know. I guess we failed to teach that to our kids. I don't know. I guess I don't know. Is it could be because we live in an era where parents have gotten lazy, right? And they're just waiting for like Papa Duck says, a sky daddy to drop from the sky and come and save them. I mean, I can go about this in so many ways.
We could definitely.
My bad. Like, what would a justice system look like if it treated community-based violence as a symptom of, how can I say, racialized trauma, right? Rather than just criminally. Like, I had to find which words to put into this, all right? Like, what role should education, mental health services, and economic investment play in preventing intra-community violence? Could community-led tribunals or truth commissions redefine accountability and healing in cases of intra-racial violence? How can narratives be reshaped to stop path, pathologizing, there you go, black communities and start amplifying root causes and solutions? How can we come together? Because what's crazy is that you see this everywhere. You see it. Listen, you see black on black crime. You see white on white crime, right? You see Latino on Latino crime. You see Asian on Asian crime, right? But the crazy part is we're not born doing all this shit. This shit is taught behavior. This is learned behavior. How do we break the stigma? How do we break the cycle? And what's crazy is that in a lot of this, right, and a lot of people don't talk about it, mental health is involved. So we have to, how can I say, hit the root of a lot of problems in order to resolve something, which is not going to get solved within 7 days. All right. If a black person kills another black person out of internalized hate, right, is that not racial violence? Violence, my bad. Because somewhere along the line, either manipulation was used there or trauma is involved. Why do we accept state violence against black bodies as a systematic, right? As systematic, but deny the same system's influence when the violence is internal? Why do we accept state violence against, right, black bodies as systematic, right, but deny that same system's influence when the violence is internal? Would labeling black on black crime as a hate crime force America to confront the legacy of anti-blackness more honestly? Is the refusal to call it a hate crime just another way of saying black pain doesn't count? Like I said, I would love to hear y'all solutions down below. And if y'all know me, y'all know what my opinion and what I feel and how I think about this already.
Change the stigma that's been placed on us if we just come together. And even if I can't come together with one brother or sister as far as what I'm trying to do, that don't mean there's not multiple people out there who are trying to get to that same goal or the same road that I'm in, you know? James Money, what's going on, my guy?
Oh shit.
But that's question for the day. The question for the day is definitely that. I feel like it's a small situation, but it's also a major situation because we got to get to that understanding, or we have to get to an answer on why is it you would have hate in your heart for yourself and for your own community.
Real shit.
See, I can't say that I hate certain things when it comes to my community. I could dislike it, but I can never hate, because then that would mean I have hate for myself. I might not agree with some of my brothers and sisters on what they say or how they do things, but I ain't going to doubt them, and I'm definitely not going to try to do something to sabotage or destroy them. You know,
That's some real shit right there.
and I think some of that hate or some of that self-hate is coming from within only because, again, you're not adequate in how your life is presented. You're not feeling a type of way because you're not in a certain position.
Facts. He ain't lying. He is telling the truth. So let's layer this down, right? Let's break it down real quick, right? Layer one, redefine hate. What is hate and who gets to define it? The legal system defines hate crimes as acts motivated by bias against race, religion, gender, etc. But what if that bias is internalized? If a black person commits violence against another black person because they've absorbed anti-black messaging from society, is that not racial bias turned inward? And what I mean by that, all right? For those of you, like, we come on social media, and the shit that we see on social media is a little different from what we see out here when we walk in these streets, right? And every community is different from every other community, all right? I see things in my community that don't happen in other communities, things happen in other communities that don't happen within my community, all right? But what's crazy is when you come on social media, it's like everything is just turns into hate, racial. It's like a political thing. And then we bring it out here. We spill it in. We spill it into our communities. Our kids mimic, and the parents do what? Is internalized oppression a form of psychological warfare, and should its consequences be treated as hate fueled? Layer two, right? And before we get into layer two, right, let's remember this flips the scripts. Hate isn't just external. My bad. I don't know why the heck I'm stuttering like this, right? It's time to smoke. It's time to smoke. I need to smoke, calm my nerves down a little bit. It can be embedded, inherited, and weaponized within. All right. I want y'all to remember that. If y'all flip the scripts, right? Hate isn't just external. It can be embedded, inherited, and weaponized within. All right. So let's head into layer two, the systematic roots, right? Where does the violence come from, and who planted the seed? Poverty over policing, underfunded schools, media, demonetization. These are not accidents. They're engineered conditions. If systematic neglect creates environments where violence thrives, is the system itself the original perpetrator of the hate? But somebody created the system. So is it the system or the people running the system? Within the system? Should the state be held accountable for crimes it incubates, right, through policy and abandonment? I want y'all to think of it like this, right? This reframes black on black crimes, not as a pathology, right, but as a symptom of structural violence. Layer three, legal contradictions. Why does the law protect some identities more fiercely than others? Hate crimes law often kick in when violence crosses racial lines, but intra-racial violence is dismissed as just crime. Is the refusal to apply hate crime status to intra-black violence a legal blind spot or a deliberate eraser of black suffering? I want to hear your comments down below, man. Let's get this discussion started. We're expanding hate crimes, right? Would expanding hate crime definitions force the justice system to confront its own complicity in anti-blackness? Layer four, cultural healing. How do we break the cycle without criminalizing the community further? Labeling black on black crime as hate could backfire, inviting harsher sentences and more incarceration. Can we build a model of justice that acknowledges racial trauma without feeding the prison industrial complex? What would it look like to treat intra-community violence as a public health crisis instead of a criminal one? Oh shit. If America taught black people to hate themselves, then punishes them for acting on the hate, who's really guilty? Hmm? All right. I'm gonna go into layer 5, 6, and 7, and 8. Right after we finish hearing a little more from Nate.
No doubt, serious, baby. Appreciate you, baby. And for those that might be multitasking, those who might be on the road, those who's in the shadows watching, I posed a great question today. You know, how do we deal with this hate crime? Because essentially that's what it is. Anytime you could think to try to destroy your brother or sister when they trying to do their best or they just trying to move the best way in life, it's hate. But it has to be deep hatred that's probably within you. Because again, if nobody else is feeling that way about themselves, why should you feel that way? You know? But again, how do we get to a better place or how do we get to a better understanding? See, for some, it's something that was embedded in them. It was something that was constantly said or done to them for them to feel that way, especially towards their own kind. But if you really, you know, if you really sit here and take that time to process everything, you'll see it. You'll see in certain instances, yes, it's a mind control and a mind program as far as, oh, well, if you're not where you should be at, hate on your brother and sister. Prime example. There's some of you out there who feel you gotta rob your brother and sister, feel like you have to be physically violent towards them, or just, you know, again, throw down that hate bomb. And again, why would you do that to somebody when the only thing you have to do, if you feeling incompetent, if you feeling non-confident, you're just not feeling anything at all that's happening in your life, you have the opportunity to change it.
Facts.
Marlene, baby. That's why I said we have to get to a better understanding of things. You
Yes,
know,
we
some
do.
of it, yes, we already know was programmed into our minds to hate each other and go against each other. For us to see the world like how you see the world. And that is a thing. Why is it we are so quick to have that form of energy and hate towards each other, but we don't have that energy and hate towards that actual opposition? Some of y'all know what your actual oppositions are. So why is it you can't just unite on the battlefront? If some of y'all will look at it, especially from this community, if y'all will look at it, everybody else seems to be united when it comes to how things are done. You know, how the community is shaped. But you're not seeing that when it comes to us. We are quick to divide and we are quick to just toss away something that could be great. Like I said before, in my opinion, the worst fear for anybody else is knowing that we united and we stand firm on what we believe in.
Facts.
It's time to break that stigma. It's time to, you know, start pushing the goalposts in a different direction. Because how much hate do you have for yourself that you can't be willing or you're not able to watch your brothers and sisters succeed? Like I said, sometimes they could be the blueprint or the inspiration for you to get your shit together.
Real
Prime
shit.
example, if I know it's somebody who made it sports wise, prime example, you know, they made it big time. Should I have this notion in my mind to say, when I catch them, I'm going to rob them? When I catch them, I'm going to beat them down? When I catch them, I'm going to set them up for failure or possibly unalive them? No, that shouldn't be the mindset I have in my mind. I don't care if I was moving in the streets or not. That shouldn't be my mindset to say, I want to see my brother or sister take a serious downfall. You know, like I said, there is levels to it. But like I said,
He ain't lying, y'all. Like in Philadelphia, right? This is what made me write that lyrical poem that I wrote about my community. Because here in Philadelphia, I see it, man. Especially in my community now, it's like they're falling and falling more for the trap. I look at my community and I look at them and I was like, damn, when the hell did y'all get them? You know, when did y'all grow them strings attached to y'all back? Or when did y'all attach the strings to y'all back and become puppets? There ain't no sky daddy coming from the sky to save us. That's some real shit, man. Nate, keep speaking, yo. Keep doing what you're doing, yo. Cause like people don't understand that, you know, it starts within you. You have to look within you to find the answers that you're searching and you're seeking. Like people just don't understand. Like, could you imagine a world without men, a world without women, a world without children? Like we're following. I'm not gonna say we. All right, people are following trends, doing challenges. It's like what's crazy, right? Here in Philadelphia, more crimes are being committed with gun violence, right? Through gun violence than anything. While you've got the government saying, well, you know, the violence is de escalating, what we're doing is working. No, the fuck is not. We're going to get into that in a little bit. What Nate is saying is right. We cannot stop. We can't. But yet we on here. We on here, right? Asking why this is happening when we know why the fuck it's happening. We blame the white man for everything, but we can't seem to break the cycle. We can't seem to break the chains and be who the fuck we're really meant to be.
talk bad or do bad things to your own brother and sister, that's a strong message of self-hate within yourself. You hate the fact that you're not in a good position. You hate the fact that you didn't get the chance to be where this person is at. But you still have an opportunity to be somewhere in life. But just like I said earlier, you got to put in the footwork. Not everything you try to do is going to work in your favor. But that doesn't mean you stop, and that doesn't mean you give up on your life. You know, life is still going to go on whether you at the top or not. Life is going to continue, you know, even when people pass on. But if you're one of the lucky ones that didn't pass on, you better keep trying to take all the strides and opportunities that you can. You know, you got to realize this, and I'm going to say this again to some of my melanated brothers and sisters. The world don't owe you shit. Nobody, even in our communities, owe you shit. You have to be willing to say, I'm going to make a change for myself and the people around me, and I'm going to be the blueprint. I'm going to be that leader. I'm going to be that person that says, I came from nowhere and made it somewhere. And I didn't have to unalive or put my brothers and sisters in any form of danger to do so. Because again, it's about unity. But when you don't have unity within your own community, that's going to continue to be a problem. And you can't keep passing the buck along. I don't care what kind of background you might have had. I don't care if you came from the roughest background or if you came from the spoiled background. Your mindset should again be, I want to see the best for my brothers and sisters. I want to see the best happen for me. I'm going to make things happen. I'm going to show the world that we are not just animals. We are not just violent people. We're going to change the standpoint and the stigma of everything. You know, when you're willing to make the adjustments and when you're willing to make the compromises for your own life, trust me, things will start getting better. If we can unite crime only going to have your mind shifted and just negative shit. Part of my language. Uncle L, what's going on?
Blessings, young Riaz. Blessings. How you doing today?
You already know if y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. And if y'all new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. But yeah, you know, again, the world doesn't owe you nothing. You owe yourself. And that means you have to put in the work. You have to take the time and the dedication for yourself. You have to build yourself before you can build anything.
Facts. And Nate, he asked a great question. Should black on black crime be considered a hate crime? And when you look it up, it says no. In the vast majority of cases, black on black crime is not considered a hate crime, right? And then it says, here's why. Definition of hate crime. A hate crime is a criminal offense motivated in whole or in part by the offender's bias against a victim's race, religion, disability, sexual orientation, ethnicity, gender, or gender identity. Motivation is key. The determining factor is the motivation behind the crime, not simply the race of the perpetrator and victim. Black on black crime typically arises from factors like poverty, gang violence, or personal disputes, not from a racial bias specifically targeting other black people. Right? Interracial crime. While the term black on black crime is often used, most crimes is interracial, committed within the same race, regardless of the demographic involved. This is often due to proximity and shared communities. For example, studies show that white on white homicide rates are similar to black on black rates. But, leave it to the media. Y'all know what they say the statistics are, right? However, it is important to remember that racial bias can exist while rare. If a black individual were to commit a crime against another black individual and the crime was motivated by racial animosity or prejudice, it could potentially be considered a hate crime. Focus on root causes. The term black on black crime is sometimes criticized for distracting from the systemic issues that contribute a higher crime rate in some black communities, like poverty, lack of educational opportunities, and access to firearms. Therefore, simply stating that a crime is black on black does not automatically classify it as a hate crime. The motivation and bias involved in the act itself are what determine whether it falls under hate crime legislation. All right. And this is something like I tell y'all, when I ask these mind-provoking questions, right, it's not just to get a conversation with y'all, right? It's to also let y'all know that these questions, we should be aiming them towards the legislators. All right. So this is the perfect opportunity for me to hit layer 5, right? Historical inherence of violence. What if black on black crime is the aftershock of centuries of sanctioned brutality? Enslavement didn't just chain bodies, it rewired relationships. It taught survival through silence, mistrust, and competition. What happens when people are taught that proximity equals threat and scarcity equals betrayal? Lynchings were public. Police brutality is televised, but intra-community violence is whispered, shamed, hidden, and ignored. Is black on black crime the echo of plantation logic? Or, my bad. Is black on black crime the echo of plantation logic, right? Divide, punish, and profit. This isn't just about crime. It's about inherited trauma reenacted in real time. All right. So Nate did bring out a great question. All right. And if it doesn't, sit here and poke around in your head and get you to start thinking, I don't know what to say. All right. And like I told everybody, all right, this live is for those that are a part of the solution, right? And what I mean by the part of the solution, those that are looking for improvement within our everyday lives, within our communities, within ourselves. All right. A better you is a better me. A better me is a better you. All right. A better you, a better us, a better us, a better you. A better you, a better world, a better world, a better us. All right. I could put this in so many ways. Shout out to the word. Make sure y'all go check him out, on some real shit.
You know, that's just like if you, prime example, wanted to get into the construction field, you have to take classes. You definitely have to know what you're doing, you know, and you have to be willing and dedicated in doing so if you want better. Exactly, L Blue. And that is the truth. That's because again, the stigma that was placed on us and the toxic behavior that's around us. Because yeah, we've had some bad in our community. I'm not saying that we haven't. I'm not saying everything was all peaches and cream. No, we've had our people who disagreed with each other, but it was never to a point where we was disrespecting and almost ready to unalive each other because of it. Yeah, we've had some people who slipped through the cracks, but we still tried to show that love and support and try to push those people who were slipping through the cracks in the right direction. We don't have unity in the community no more. And that's again because we feel like everybody, including our own, owes us something. Got to get out that mindset, man. You know? Exactly, Hennessy. Ain't nobody coming. And that's what people fail to realize. Not everybody is coming to your rescue. Sometimes you have to come to your own rescue. But you can't think that the world owes you everything when you're not doing anything of worth. I'm sorry. In order for you to get to a better and a balanced place in life, you have to put in the work. You have to be dedicated and orientated to doing something. No doubt, Angela, baby. You know, again, we've had a lot of different things happening in our communities back in the day, but guess what? The difference was there was unity in our community. Like I said, the things that wasn't being accepted, the things that was being looked down on, now all of a sudden is being accepted. Prime example is some of y'all who try to say, oh, this person snitched on me. This person said this person said that. But look at what's going on now, prime example. Even down to some of these younger folks. You'll sit here and try to say somebody snitched on you, somebody told on you. But if you coming on here recording your crimes on a daily, who the hell is snitching on who? Like I'm speaking to some of the street niggas too. How can you say somebody snitching on you when you're willing to come to Instagram, you're willing to come to Facebook, you're willing to come to even YouTube and record your fucking crimes? Who's snitching on who? You just putting yourself in that position. Like you failed to realize that again, those people are watching what you doing. Especially again, you are live. You are live to the world, not just a couple people. You know, and that's the thing for some of y'all. You can't sit here and cry when you willing to put yourself out there like that. And you can't say that nobody snitched on you when again you snitching on yourself. If it's not the things that you're presenting and the things that you're doing, it's the things that you're saying. That's like you coming on here and trying to admit to unaliving somebody. When it's all said and done, they watching you. Even if nothing don't happen right away, they're watching you. They're building up a case to see what's gonna happen. And when it's all said and done, you gonna see they follow as much on social media as they do by word of mouth. There's some people right now sitting up, not just in the state, but in the feds. Why? Because a case was built on them. Why? Because some of these people came on and either spoke about or implicated themselves into a crime. So just remember that. You're always being observed and you're always being watched. But if you want better, you got to be willing to think better. If you want to avoid certain situations, don't put yourself in situations. And again, I could ask my community, why is it we do have that stigma of wanting to tear down each other, but we not trying to tear down these quote unquote walls of establishment that have kept us and that's kept us in a sleep state? Why we don't have that energy all around the board? For some people, they do have that energy all around the board. I'm not going to say everybody in my community is on that same level, no, because we have some melanated brothers and sisters who have made it, and they have come from the roughest and the toughest of positions. But they had the right type of people, the right type of mindset, and the right influences to push them forward. And even when they didn't, they had their own mindset to say, I don't want to live life like this. I don't want to fail. I don't want to be a consistent failure. What can I do that's going to benefit me and also give a blueprint to those around me, especially the ones I love? I had people who were in my area, I had people who actually made it to the NBA, people who made it to the NFL, people who made it in baseball, whether it was major league or minor league, it doesn't matter. The fact is you made it. You worked on something. You was continuously working on something. You took the time, you put in the work, the necessary dedication, and you didn't quit. And they made it. They made it. Yeah, they still come back in the hood from time to time. Shoot. Not just to do some little giveaways or whatever. No, they'll come in, come check in on family, so on and so forth. Whether giveaways or whatever, no, they'll come in, come check in on family, so on and so forth. Whether they got security or not. But see, it's sad again, and I'm gonna say this, and this is for my community. It's sad that when you do have the brothers and sisters who make it and try to come back and do something great or try to give something back to the place they came from, y'all would think to say, we got to take their life. We got to take whatever possessions they had. You want to set them up, rob them, and do everything again. And you wonder why some of these people don't want to come back, or you wonder why some of the other ones don't want to be involved. Why would I want to be involved if I'm trying to do something good and you're only worried about trying to see my downfall? Come on now. You got to get out of that place of mindset to say, You know, we got better things we could be doing. You know what? This brother or this sister came back and actually, did something. We should be doing the same thing, even if we didn't get to where we should get at. It's not like you still don't have time to do so. Again, we quick to say that the world owes us and that the people in our community owes us. No, we owe it to ourselves to be better. We owe it to ourselves to stop with the self-hate and the hate amongst each other. I'm sorry, but I might sound a little disorientated right now, but I'm being real though, because this is a question I had to pose to the people today. How are we gonna ever break free from this stigma? How are we ever gonna break free from those chains of oppression when we keep oppressing each other? When we keep destroying each other? When we keep disrespecting each other? When you're going against the grain, again, it's showing that you have self-hate within your own. That's the whole fact, James. You gotta look at it. Like, prime example, may that brother rest in peace, Young Dolph. A lot of y'all know what it is. I'm just speaking on it from the outside looking in. Despite whatever, that brother was trying to do something and trying to better not just himself, but the people around him. He didn't forget where he came from. So a lot of people who was trying to do something, and guess what? The minute they almost start getting in, or the minute that they are getting into another level, they get taken away so quickly. Like, prime example, Pop Smoke, may he rest in peace. That young brother, regardless to the music he was doing, was on the rise and on the path to doing something great. And he probably could have did something great to benefit not just himself, but the people around him, especially the ones that was motivating him. Never got the chance to do that. There's a lot of young brothers and sisters, and I ain't just talking about music-wise. I'm talking about all around the board, that made themselves something or was trying to make something better to where everybody could prosper and benefit from it, and they never got a chance to make it happen. People in the business world didn't get a chance to make it happen. Why? Because it was cut short. And guess what? Cut short by their own people. So again, I pose that question. Is black on black crime a hate crime? And if it is a hate crime to some of y'all, how do you think we should change that? How do you think we should move past that? How do you think we should handle those type of situations right there?
Boom. And I'm gonna leave that right there, right? And I want y'all to make sure y'all go check out Nate the Great podcast. All right. Let me leave the link down below, right? Go check out, right, Nate. So I left his link down below for anybody that wants to go check out Nate the Great podcast. All right. Make sure y'all go, give him some support. Well, okay. Make sure y'all give him some support, man, on some real shit, man. Now, let's hit the last layer, right, of everything we've been talking about, right? Reimagining justice, right? What does accountability look like, right? With everything y'all have heard Nate say, everything that I've, my input, all the questions that I've asked, right? What does accountability look like when the system itself is guilty? Hate crime laws are reactive, right? They punish after the fact. But what if justice was proactive, preventing harm by healing root causes? Could reparations include mental health and frustrations, community-led conflict resolution, and cultural restoration? Can we build a justice model that centers ancestral wisdom, not just punitive, right, codes? This is about radical how can I say redefinition right? Radical redefinitions. Justice not justice not as a punishment, right? But as a restoration, reclamation, rebirth. I don't know what the heck is going on and why I'm talking the way I'm talking. Shit. All right, let me say that again. All right, this is about radical redefinition, right? Justice redefinitions. Justice not as a punishment, but as restoration, reclamation, and rebirth. All right. If the system taught us to hate ourselves, then punish us for acting on that hate. Isn't every black on black crime a hate crime committed by America itself? Once again, let me ask that question. And let me say it a little louder, right? If the system taught us to hate ourselves, then punish us for acting on that hate. Isn't every black on black crime a crime committed by America itself? All right. And before we go right on to, Papa Duck, right, and his message, right, and what I gotta say, right, let me just say this one more time to y'all, man. Shout out to Nate the Great podcast. Shout out to Nate the Great podcast, right, for motivating a shorty, right, for inspiring me, right, not just to write this message, but the few upcoming poems that I got that evolve itself in this topic, right? Our ancestors didn't bleed so we could forget the blueprint. They didn't survive whips, chains, and exile for us to turn on each other and call it normal. They didn't sing through sorrow, right? March through fire and die with dignity so we could inherit trauma and call it culture. Black on black crime isn't just violence, it's a symptom of a system that taught us to fear our own reflection, a system that profits when we pull the trigger on each other instead of pulling back, right? Instead of pulling back that veil on oppression. We've been conditioned to see each other as threats, not kin, to inherit pain, not power, to forget that unity was always our weapon and love was always our rebellion, right? So ask yourself, if the hate was planted in us, who's really guilty when it blooms? If we're reenacting the trauma they endured, are we honoring their legacy or betraying it? This isn't just about crime, it's about reclaiming the truth. It's about remembering that every ancestor who died with hope in their heart left behind a blueprint of resistance, of healing, of collective liberation. We owe it to them to study it, live it, fight for it, because they didn't sacrifice themselves for us to be statistics, all right? They sacrificed themselves so that we could be free. I want y'all to remember that. All right, and while I get, Papa Doug's video on, let me just put this.
Religiously, understand the 7 principles of hell. You understand the 7 demons within you. You understand that whole concept. It's a whole metaphysical concept. We ain't go over that, but anyway, so you to participate and give that.
In my eye. Oh, we back. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Big shout out. Make sure y'all, if y'all ain't sub up, man. Show a shorty some support if y'all want to, man. Share the videos to help bring awareness, right? Smash that like button if you want to, man. If what you've heard so far, draws your attention, right? And you understand where a shorty's coming from, man, smash that like button for a shorty, man. If you want to, the dislike button is right there too, all right? But if y'all enjoy that content so far, man, help a shorty out by sharing the video, helping her bring awareness. Once again, I do apologize for repeating that. Man, I sound like Dr. Umar, don't I? Shit, I need to get it together. I've been watching too many Dr. Umar videos trying to understand what's going on. But hey, let's get back on topic. All right, man. Big shout out to Nate the Great, right, for bringing awareness to this topic, right? Should black on black crime be a hate crime? All right, big shout out to him for bringing, for spitting them gems, bringing awareness on this topic. And I know it's a touchy topic for a lot of people for so many reasons, right? So listen, man, within our communities, right, we're experiencing so many things, right? Like I was just saying, it's just crazy how we keep saying, right, we should hate the black man. We should hate the black man for this. But when is it that, we're going to, sit here and figure out that we're the ones killing each other. I mean, I'm sorry, unaliving each other. And I gotta say I'm sorry to myself because goddamn, Ray, you know better. You was doing good for a minute, man. You was doing good for a minute, right? I'm trying to get to my little playlist where I got the current news, right? Here we go. Here we go. Right? Just I think it was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, or the day before yesterday, right? Oh no, no. Let me go to my I gotta go to the one to my premium. No ads. I can't deal with these ads. So, all right. So y'all hear the government of Philly, right? Say that the crimes have escalated. That's not true. That is not true at all. All right. So I'm gonna point out a few videos, right? We're gonna play a few videos, all right? And I want y'all to see what has been happening in Philly, all right? I had the wrong video.
Is breaking right now. The investigation into a shooting at a West Philadelphia rec center. Chopper 6 overhead in the minutes after police say someone fired several.
But according to the government, right, according to Philly politics, right, the crime in Philly is de-escalating, according to them, right? But yet we got these news articles. Let's be real.
Here at the Christie Rec Center at 56th and Christian Streets. Tonight we know at least 4 people were shot here, 2 of them children. This the very first day that pool was open. Let's get right to Action News reporter Brianna Smith live at the scene. Brianna, the mayor and police commissioner just spoke. What did you learn from that?
Yes, Brian, we just spoke to the both of them. They say at least 4 people shot, 2 children, a teenager, and a city employee. They say that this needs to be a safe haven for children today and every day, but that shooting happened outside of the pool area just a couple of hours ago. Philadelphia police say it all started when a fight broke out on 56th Street outside of the pool area at the Christie Recreation Center. A city employee and officers stopped the fight, but police say around 4 p.m. the suspects came back and fired shots at people on 56th Street.
And that's some crazy shit, right? And what's crazy is, right, these were kids, right, committing these crimes in their same neighborhoods. Yo, it's crazy, man. I just want to say this right before we continue the damn video. Like, it's like, look at what we're doing. They drew flowers on sidewalks with fists, still too small to hold fear, and still blood bloomed faster than the chalk could fade. No warning, no mercy. Just bullets where backpacks should be, and silence louder than any siren. We buried futures in first grade caskets, tiny shoes never worn twice, names whispered in prayers while systems filed reports and forgot. This isn't lost, it's theft. It's calculated neglect dressed in policy. It's grief rationed to the poor and outrage muted by budget cuts. But we remember their laughter still echoes in hallways closed too soon. Their dreams now live in our lungs, and we will not excel until justice breathes. So don't you dare call this tragedy. This is war, and we the broken, right? We the broken, the bold, are the warriors of every stolen heartbeat. It is so much of this going on, all right? My thing is the commissioners, right? Everybody that is supposed to be a leader, right, of the city is over here saying, we're going to handle this. We're going to find a way to end this. How? When in reality, right, we know where these kids are getting the weapons. We know where everybody within our communities are getting weapons from, right? The black market is huge. The dark web is huge. The underground is huge, all right? And what's crazy is that we got parents that are buying their kids weapons themselves. And guess what? They're not just what their skin color is not just white. It also shades like mine and yours. So let's be real. We buried children, not mistakes. This grief is our war cry.
Street. Police say a 10-year-old and 11-year-old were grazed by a bullet and are in stable condition. Another person between the ages of 17 and 20 was shot multiple times and in critical condition. And the staff employee has grazed wounds, but he was here talking before going to the hospital, and he's expected to be okay. Now, Commissioner Kevin Bethel says they have a lot of investigating to do to find those responsible. He also mentioned he grew up in this area and went to this pool, and it was always a safe place.
There are boundaries. And if they don't set the boundaries, then we will set them for them. As the mayor indicated, then we will set the boundaries. We're going to do everything in
When? How? Where?
our power to bring those individuals who put our children in harm's way, put any of us in harm's way, but particularly our defenseless children in harm's way, or here at the pool to have a good time. Only to have to be, their parents have to pick them up at the hospital. Who does that?
And we also spoke to a witness who says he was down the street when he heard several gunshots and ran over to see what happened.
You know, we ain't seen nothing, but you heard it, and hearing it, it was just as traumatic. It was horrible, man. There's a bunch of kids, so they all screaming and yelling, and you looking for your kid.
City leaders emphasize all those.
So let's keep going.
An argument over a parking space turned violent in Upper Darby, Delaware County. Police say the dispute led to one man spraying the other with bear spray. That escalation then led to several gunshots being fired. It is Friday night. Shari's off. Mackie Ken is joining us. And the big story in Action News is a shooting following a dispute over a parking spot.
Yeah.
A dispute over a parking spot. It's that deep that somebody had to pull out bear spray, shoot somebody, start an argument over a parking spot. Something that is rising in Philadelphia every day. Something that we talk about when we go to these community meetings. What's happening? Do we blame the officers in this situation? Do we blame the government, or do we blame ourselves within our own communities, causing this havoc and this chaos? And then y'all wonder why they look at us the way they look at us and want to profit from our pain.
Tonight, police say one man is in custody, and we're learning more about what happened before the shooting. Action News reporter Becca Hendrickson is live in Drexel Hill with the latest details. Becca.
Maggie and Rick, police tell me the resident was upset that the suspect, the person who shot the gun, didn't pull his car up far enough in front of the house. That led to an argument. One person pulls out bear spray, the other a gun.
It's all over parking. Are you kidding me? Parking.
It is a disagreement that quickly.
Yo, that shit is shot out though. Bear spray, like, yo, that I think that's that burns a little more than pepper spray, if I'm not mistaken. Bear spray, yo, this person was desperate for that parking spot. Like, bitch, you ain't taking my spot. Who the fuck you think you is? Walk on that Pennsylvania, baby. Oh, you in Pennsylvania, yo, man. I'm from Philly, but yo, listen, man, listen. This shit is shot out. Bear spray though, like how big? The person wasn't even that big. Pepper spray would have been enough. Like, yo, get out my way, bitch. Move on some ludicrous type shit. Like, let's be real. No, man. Like, yo, I'm sorry. We gotta bring some humor amongst all this, man, because this is crazy. But de-escalating, tell me where is the violence de-escalating that over a parking spot? One person pulls out bear spray and the other one pulls out a gun. All right, and pew pew amongst people start happening. Like, is you serious? Oh shit, we got beautiful one in the building. Blessings, blessings, welcome, beautiful one. Oh shit, she got. Damn, beautiful one. I don't got no drops, but I'll give you some poetry, all right? I appreciate them. Oh, wait. Damn, beautiful one. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Shout out to beautiful one for the super chat, yo. She said, happy Saturday, Riders for Life, stopping by, showing some love. Let me give you something a little back, all right? I don't got drops or none of that, but let me give you some poetry, all right? In a world without women, will there be loving compassion? Their strength and wisdom, essential for our evolution. From nurturing to leading with grace, women bring balance to every space. Their resilience and empathy, crucial for humanity's harmony. Can this world truly function without the essence of their contribution? Let's honor and respect them, for they are the heart of our civilization. Would this world function properly without the laughter of children's glee? Their innocence and pure hearts, adding color to life's art. Imagine a world without their curious minds, no tiny hands to hold in times. Their dreams and hopes a beacon bright, guiding us through the darkest night. For in the eyes of a child we see the possibility of what could be. Their love and light, a gift so rare, a world without them we cannot bear. In a world without men, will we thrive or fall? Could we find balance, or will chaos call? Strength and power they bring, but also strive. Can this world function without them in our life? Leaders and workers, fathers and sons. Their absence may leave us all in the run, but empathy and grace can fill the void. Can this world function without men deployed? Yet women have risen strong and true, breaking barriers, making their debut. Together we stand, hand in hand. Can this world function without man's command? This is America, land of the free, where you gotta pay for water, even the air you breathe. Y'all screaming Black Lives Matter, turn around and watch our kids die and cry and ask why. They gotta fly high. Now we gotta be strong enough to storm the weather. Y'all weak, y'all fold under pressure. Now y'all went and lost your treasure. Oh my, look at the oppressor, dressed as a professor, calls himself a hitman, missed his target and got banned. Now he's tomorrow's trend, all for a brand. Don't act surprised. Y'all can stand. Y'all knew the plan. Y'all know that friend with that itchy hand, ready to see you go missing? Damn, what a scam. The whole time they was listening. They was just a part of the plan. Got us on a mission, on go mode and ready to rant. I appreciate that, yo. Man. Beautiful one came in with the 99.99, y'all, with the 99.99. I appreciate that. We got SBK in the building, yo. But before we get, before we get started, right, before we continue, let me, listen. She pulled in with a 99.99. Hold on 1 second. Let me give her a little music. And that's some real shit. That is the issue that we're having within our communities right now, right? They taught us to share everything, but not the heavy cost. See, them demons linger and no healing to be sought. That's some real shit right there, yo. Like, that's why I don't do the real, the how can I say the man, shout out to Frankie, because he could be freestyling right now. Man, it takes me a little bit because I like using big words that make people think, right? So it takes me a little minute because the hood in me is there sometimes, right? And like I told people yesterday, right? Listen, vibes, right? People's vibes, people's feelings, that shit transfers. Believe it or not, it transfers. You see how these two people right here, right, in this incident, in this video right here, one with I keep saying pepper spray, right? Remember over there, Delaware County, they got bears and all that shit. So here in Philly, you don't gotta travel around with bear spray. You just travel with fucking pepper spray. So I'm used to saying pepper spray, all right? I'm still a part of Pennsylvania, all right? But we divided in so many parts, right? It's crazy how these two people, one with a gun, one with a damn pepper spray, arguing over a parking spot. Oh, something that we talk about every single day within our community, something that has to stop. All right? Because it's the stupidest, the dumbest thing to do. You see where I'm coming from? Why can't we be considerate of each other? Nobody owns the streets. Nobody owns the sidewalk. You may own the property that you're in, but the land that the property is on doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the motherfucking government. That's why I look at men that are in their 40s or their 50s. I be, my daughter says that word, bombastic side eye. I be giving them that shit. All right? That's how I look at them when they in these fucking corners talking about, it's my block. I own this shit. I dare anybody to step foot in this bitch. Bitch, what fucking block do you own, nigga? You belong to fucking Uncle Sam. That's who you belong to. Because the block don't belong. Ouch. Blue. Shit. Okay, I'll calm down. I'm sorry. Hard ass tail. Pit bulls. Blocks don't belong to nobody. The problem with you mofos is that y'all falling for the trap. It don't belong to nobody. It don't belong to me. It don't belong to nobody. If you want to own some shit, who was it? Who was it? If I'm not mistaken, I think it's Carlos King, and he is a content creator here on YouTube, right? And I think he buys properties and he buys the land to go with it. If you want to own some land, well, motherfucker, you're going to have to own blocks. You're going to have to buy the land and the block. And I think if I'm not mistaken, there's a place where you could buy blocks for cheap and start building properties on top of it. If I'm not mistaken, if I had the bread like that on some real shit, I would do it. Now, this is my block. But motherfucker, you don't owe shit. Nothing. Nothing. Some of y'all still owe Uncle Sam, so y'all belong to them. Y'all belong. So, listen, it's not just Uncle Sam. Don't forget about Auntie Sam. Auntie Sam exists. She out there. She out there. But y'all just only think about Uncle Sam. All right? The fucked up part about it is that we bury children. We're not burying mistakes. This is the grief, right? This is the grief. This grief is our war cry. Fuck, right? Put it real simple for them, all right? Where is my little questions that I have for this? All right. So, like I asked the last time, right? Who profits from the continued neglect of youth spaces, right? In West Philadelphia, North Philadelphia, Delaware, anywhere, right? Why are recreation centers meant to be sanctuaries left vulnerable to violence, and who's responsible for their protection? What policies have failed to prevent retaliation-based shootings, and how can community-led interventions replace, reactivate policing? All right? And what's crazy is these shootings are around recreation centers. These shootings are around homes. People don't care. People with kids out here doing that shit, and then y'all sit around and ask, why did I lose my child? Why did I lose someone I love? Why did you pull that pistol? Why couldn't you control your emotions and hold back and not pull the trigger? How about you ask yourself that question? There was one time, like I tell people, our community, the community that I'm in, we all know each other, right? We know who are the crackheads and everything. We know what everybody is capable of, right? So one day I came on here and I told people, right? I was like, yo, man, this motherfucking crackhead, he had the nerves. I was like, I don't know what the fuck is in this crack, right? They got these damn crackheads bold as shit coming through doors like they fucking hawkish shit, right? Well, you could tell Bull was like really out of rage, right? And I'm like, as soon as I picked up, pew pew, right? Bull got scared. All I had to say was get the fuck out once or twice, and he was out. Twice because, I was like, get out, get out, get out. So in my head, I was like, why the fuck did I say it 3 times, right? Like, the more I think about that shit, I be cracking the fuck up. But the bull was shot out. I had every right to shoot him, but I knew my laws. I knew my rights. Right? You see where I'm coming from? When he broke in through my backyard. You see where I'm coming from? Yeah, he pushed the washer and everything. Everybody like, you should have pulled the trigger. He was a fucking crackhead that once I got to see who the fuck it was, right? Because I wasn't reacting on my emotions, right? I knew that if I pulled out a knife or something, easily beat as a woman. You see where I'm coming from? But as soon as I started screaming, I pulled the pistol up. My kids came running, he ran out. They went after them. I already knew how the scenario was going to play. As crazy as it sounds, you see where I'm coming from? And that's what people don't understand. See, you don't know your community. You don't know the people within your community. I know the people that are around me, who's in here. And yeah, it gets me pissed off when they go the extra mile and do some stupid shit. Yo, okay, I know who's here, but I don't give a fuck. I'm still going to steal. I have every right to shoot them. But you know something? I didn't feel like sitting here waiting in a jail cell, waiting for them to see, you know, for them to collect evidence to see if I was in the right to shoot him or not, blah, 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 blah. Because once I said get out and he turned, I would have shot. You see where I'm coming from? That right there wouldn't have been self-defense at all. And that's what people forget. So even in my worst moment, right, and I learned that from the first time, there's another video, another situation that I went through where there was a drive-by, right, and I was on the live. I was on my porch doing my live, minding my own business like SpongeBob, right? All the next thing you know, man, listen, I was in my vibe. I was vibing. And all you know is that the moment was ruined, with, you know, by gunshots, bullet flying through the air, right? I opened my porch door, and I don't know why. My instinct at that moment, right, me being used to it, right, I kind of panicked in a way. You see where I'm coming from? While I'm trying to save somebody. Why? I don't know why. That was the craziest part. But after that, no, it didn't happen no more. But did it happen? Yeah, it did happen the first time. I was like, oh, shit. Like, one, I couldn't see where the bullets were coming from. I couldn't see who the op was, and it wasn't even my op. You see where I'm coming from? Like, what the fuck was going on? Somebody got shot in the process. They're in my porch with bullet holes in their legs and shit like that. I'm like, I know what the fuck to do, but what the fuck is going on? I kind of froze in a way. And it was because I wasn't expecting that, right? I was expecting for that to happen, but everything that happened in that moment, I wasn't expecting that. So it's kind of like everything that I knew for that 1 second went out the window. Don't ever say, oh, I'm going to do this. Oh, I'm capable of doing this. Because when that moment arrives, you don't know what the fuck you're going to do and how you're going to react. Will you get over it after it happens the first time or the second time? Yeah. But, man, we all go through this shit, man. We're in the hood, what they consider poverty. But we're saying the white man hates us so much, right, that they got hate in their crime, but don't we too? When are we going to release the hate that we got in our hearts? The envy that we share, that we show our kids? Because believe it or not, this is something that we're teaching them time after time. Believe it or not, a lot of people are not breaking the cycle. A lot of us are. A lot of us are breaking the chains of society and being who we're truly meant to be. We don't want to be in poverty. We don't want to be considered or seen as this. So we're going to do what we got to do and improve ourselves and better our situation. And whoever's with us is with us. That's why I tell people when I do these lives, when the Word does these lives, when Nate does these lives, right? It's not for everybody. All right? Now, you are a part of the solution, right? If you're here listening. Whether you're a lyricist, an activist, right? A rapper, a writer, a content creator, a mother, a father, an auntie, a grandmother. If you're here with me having a conversation, listening and putting, giving your input, you are a part of the solution and you don't even see it. Some of us don't until it's told to us on some real shit. Shout out to Beautiful One. Shout out, what she say? Okay. She was giving 100%. She was giving a yep. She's like, you keeping it a bean, yo. You keeping it a bean, and that's some real shit. Because my question is, how are we going to get to the root of the problem in this? We know where these kids are getting the guns from. We know where they're getting the guns from. We know why these situations are happening within our communities, right? Right now, this is a parking. So let me play this, right? Let me finish what I'm going to say. Play this, right? And then I'm going to show y'all the next video so that y'all can see that the gun violence within our communities in the hood, what they consider poverty, has not ended. So what if black on black crime was considered a hate crime? And earlier I read to y'all, I broke it down, why it's not considered a hate crime and the loophole to it, because there's a loophole in it. How you can get around it. But I'm going to leave that for y'all to do your own research, all right? I can't do it all for y'all, man. I got to, poke around y'all noggin the same way my noggin was poked around, all right?
Turned violent and ended with a suspect being bear sprayed and a bullet hole in this SUV.
Our victim was unhappy.
Damn, he even missed the target, or she.
Happy at the way the defendant parked his car on his street.
It happened on the 4000 block of Dayton Road in Drexel Hill.
Damn.
Police say Wednesday night around 8:30, 33-year-old Darren Floyd pulled onto the block in his silver Honda Accord and parked. The victim got into an argument with Floyd over how he was parked.
That you
I was being rude and disrespectful. Let me start it over because I interrupted the video. Why did I interrupt the video? I don't know. But let's start it over.
An argument over a parking space turned violent in Upper Darby, Delaware County. Police say the dispute led to one man spraying the other with bear spray. That escalation then led to several gunshots being fired. It is Friday night. Shari's off. Maggie Ken is joining us. And the big story in Action News is a shooting following a dispute over a parking spot.
Yeah, tonight police say one man is in custody, and we're learning more about what happened before the shooting. Action News reporter Becca Hendrickson is live in Drexel Hill with the latest details. Becca.
Maggie and Rick, police tell me the resident was upset that the suspect, the person who shot the gun, didn't pull his car up far enough in front of the house. That led to an argument. One person pulls out bear spray, the other a gun.
It's all over parking. Are you kidding me? Parking.
It is a disagreement that quickly turned violent and ended with a suspect being bear sprayed and a bullet hole in this SUV.
Our victim was unhappy at the way the defendant parked his car on his street.
It happened on the 4000 block of Dayton Road in Drexel Hill. Police say Wednesday night around 8:30, 33-year-old Darren Floyd pulled on to the block and his Floyd over how he was parked.
That he didn't park close enough to the next car. I guess he felt that there was more room that he should have pulled up.
Police say the two initially walked away from each other, but Floyd came back. The victim used bear spray on Floyd. Investigators say that's when Floyd pulled out a gun and fired 3 shots.
That's crazy. So that, the person, they keep saying victim. They're not saying if it's a man or a woman. So the person was pissed enough to to take out their little bear spray and spray it on the person. How can I say it? They oh my God, I can't get my words right. Antagonized the person because they provoked them on some real shit. All this over some parking. Damn. I mean, I see why they missed. They was bear spray is stronger than pepper spray. People don't get that shit. It really is. For some reason, it's way stronger than pepper spray. Like his eyes is tore up right now. Like but see, that right there could have led to more incidents is what people don't understand. Bullets with no names. What if there was children around? What if there was a little kid riding a bike, a grandma walking from the store, an auntie, playing with the kids or some shit like that, right? Like, just picture that.
Says the victim ran into this alley.
2 knuckleheads. Why in the world do you have bear spray? Why would you use it on someone? And then our defendant decides to take out a gun and fire 3 shots.
The bullets missed the victim, but one hit this SUV parked in that alley. Police say Floyd left the scene, but officers tracked him down after getting his license plate and arrested him. Neighbors on the block are worried about how a small argument quickly escalated to gun violence.
People are stupid.
People are stupid.
It's ridiculous. It doesn't need to happen. Not a valid reason for gun violence.
My point. Listen, man, that's some real shit. All right, that is some real shit. It's way stronger, but people they do, right? And I want to put myself, that's why I explained the story about how they broke in, right? And I didn't react on emotions and stuff like that. Just because I am licensed to carry doesn't give me the right to pull out my pistol anytime I feel like I need to control, have the power over somebody just cause, especially over some petty shit. That's the nicest way I could put it, right? Because I can get very hood with it. But no, Ray, that's their energy, not ours. Like this shit, this is crazy. And I agree with the old head. People are stupid. I don't want to keep hearing no more excuses. People are just plain out fucking stupid.
Now Floyd is facing multiple charges, including attempted homicide.
Look at that.
The man who used the bear spray.
See?
He is not facing any charges at this time. Police.
The man that used the bear spray is not facing any charges because you are allowed to pull out pepper spray and stuff like that in self-defense. Like if you can't fight or something like that, yeah, you can self-defense. Y'all here, fighting boo-boo. But this motherfucker pulled out a pistol. A pistol. Like, let's see, that's what they're doing nowadays. Listen, it's like, for example, all right, I'm gonna put Beautiful One as an example, right? Somebody come and they walk up to Beautiful One, right? And they talk about let's fight, right? And Beautiful One is like, all right, fuck it. Beautiful One drops everything that she got. She come and beats, pop, 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 beats the daylights out of a motherfucker, right? And then they mad and they couldn't take that L and they come back and they try to pop, 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 pop. We know Beautiful One knows to be prepared because a motherfucker can't take a loss nowadays. But I'm just putting an example. Motherfuckers can't take a loss. Like, all right, you fought, you couldn't beat the motherfucker. Take the L and walk away. Go, toughen up. Go to the gym. Lose some weight if that's the problem, or, put some electrolytes in your system if that's the problem. I don't know. Do some sit-ups if you're missing some strength in your legs. I don't fucking know. And then next time when y'all meet each other, man, challenge them again and see if you win. The crazy part about it is even people fighting, you can lose your life like that. But it's better than putting a bullet through someone's head and somebody having to grieve somebody's child. But maybe I don't make sense. I'm hoping people understand where I'm coming from. Like, the shit we do is wild, and we are the ones that do it. The white man didn't sit here and put a gun in our head and say, hey, you got to do this like this. No. God didn't sit here and put a gun in our heads and said, do this or else. Shit, we know that he's got tantrums, but shit. Come on, man. Like, people out of pocket. This is what it's really like.
And Philadelphia police released new images of the person they say is responsible for.
This is what we're doing. Killing our own kin. This is what we're doing. Rec Center shooting in Philadelphia.
Wednesday shooting outside a rec center. 4 children and an adult were shot at around 4 o'clock Wednesday afternoon.
Well, police say they believe the suspect is between 15 and 18 years old. Now, all of this happened at the Christie Rec Center in West Philadelphia. Chief investigative reporter Joe Holden has the very latest details.
Good evening. Philadelphia police releasing new images of the person who opened fire here at 56 and Christian. My sources tell me they are confident they know who pulled the trigger. Their next step is obtaining a warrant. All new images give us a closer look at the person Philadelphia police say shot 5 people near a city pool on Wednesday. Law enforcement sources say investigators are closing in on him.
And when he went to shoot up the pool, guess what? He was dressed in all black. And somehow, some way, from camera to camera, right? From camera to camera, because this is what these dumb criminals don't get, right? If you look up on every poll, I don't know if it's like this on every city, but I know it's like this in my city. I don't care if you're in North Philadelphia, South Philadelphia, East Philadelphia, Northeast Philadelphia, West Philadelphia. I don't give a fuck what part of Philadelphia you're in. When you look up, every poll has a camera. When you look at every store, the cameras that are in these stores belong to the district, to the police district that is in your community. Mine's 25th, 26th district. I don't know what is yours. From whatever city you're in, whatever state you're in, right? But I do know mine, all right? But these cameras belong to them. Believe it or not, everywhere you walk outside, there's a camera pointing at you. There's no privacy in these streets. None whatsoever. That's why I asked the question, why does it take y'all so long to find somebody that's on the run? Why does it take so long for y'all to, with all this technology you got out in our streets, spying on us and much, you know what? No, I'm gonna sound like a conspiracy theorist, but I'm not a conspiracy theorist, all right? But listen, with all this technology y'all got out here, right? Y'all can sit here and catch a criminal and lock them up. But you know what? Y'all do it like that, there's no capitalizing off of what y'all trying to do. All right? I'm trying to put the words in, all right? I've already lost a channel before, so I got to find the proper words in order for YouTube not to strike my little ass, all right? It's happened. My mouth has gotten me in so much trouble here with YouTube, not just with people, because some people can't handle my opinion, but because YouTube wants to censor my mouth. YouTube got me feeling like Pink. I just want to be far away from here on some real shit.
Everywhere. The mid-afternoon shooting has kept the Christie Recreation Center closed. Neighbor Carol Johnson says conversations have turned to questions of safety. There's reluctance by some to let the kids come back.
They're not going back down there. My granddaughter dance over here. And now by me being a babysitter, I'm scared to let her come back. Let the mother.
And people are scared to let them come back to a rec center that just got opened up. A rec center that, took a minute to get funds for, right? Because they cut the budgets, they doing this. Listen, I can go into that, but right now we're not going to hit the political side right now. All right, we're going to get into this. We're talking about this. This is why I write shit down, because I have a tendency of putting everything in because I want y'all to understand. But I'm not going to break it down. We're not going to do that because that would take way longer. But y'all see how everything goes hand in hand, man, and people don't realize that shit. Now they scared to bring these kids in. All right, and Sherelle Parker went out her way to do this. No, she did not go out her way for the sanitary workers and the morticians and the 911 dispatchers, but she went out her way for the kids to get these programs back, to get them off these streets and much more. You see where I'm coming from? And she got funds from where they were telling us that there was no funds, and she pulled it through. You see where I'm coming from? So that's why I was like, I'll look at people like, okay, she couldn't do certain things, but she's doing other things that at least, we asked for and we're getting. She's fixing potholes. She's doing this. She's doing that. So, I'm sorry, right? And, I'm not even sorry because I'm not a sorry person. I do apologize if my focus wasn't on a strike, right? And we're getting another strike soon. SUPTA's about to go into strike after they just got thousands and thousands, hundreds, and I can't remember right now, so I'm going to be a little sarcastic. After they got thousands and hundreds and millions of dollars in funds, right, for them to keep operating not so long ago. But now after the sanitation workers and everybody else went, DC 33 went under strike, right? Let me put it like that, right? Now SEPTA's going to go under strike, firefighters going under strike, and much more, right? Which is going to affect the economy right here in Philadelphia a lot. It's going to hurt it more than what it did when the sanitation workers. I don't know if it's what's going to really happen, but this is what's supposed to be happening. All right. So now SEPTA eliminating routes and stuff like that. So let's be real. All this stuff was really happening. So how is Philadelphia bettering itself? You see where I'm coming from? We may be improving certain parts in communities, yes, but we need to improve all aspects, all areas, especially if we're considered areas of poverty.
They don't want them to come back down here. Well, this state around here, once they get everything straightened out, I think everything's going to be all right.
Friday afternoon, state lawmakers carried on with a previously scheduled food and clothing giveaway.
I grew up playing basketball at this recreation center.
State Senator Anthony Williams is pushing for people to help police.
That we're offering a $10,000 reward for the arrest of those folks who are involved.
The toll of Wednesday's shooting with 2 teens, 2 children, and an adult shot has lingered.
I can't imagine my daughter or my son at 10 or 11 years old getting shot. It just breaks my heart.
Parents say the moment is about teaching teens about smarter conflict resolution. On Wednesday, police say the shooter had been involved in a fight and then came back with a 9mm handgun.
I tell them all the time, if you have an issue out here, you see me, we'll try to mediate the problem. We could talk to the people that you're beefing with and see, where their head is at.
Philadelphia police sources tell.
But it's not working like that. And this is why we're having these type of conversations with our kids within the hoods. Not everybody is doing it. All right. But I'm bringing out, how can I say I'm putting some light in the darkness, all right? I'm shining some light into the darkness, all right? I'm showing y'all, right, that there are people trying to do these things out here. Not just by having these podcasts, right, but I also go out within my community and I go live. I do walk-alongs, right? I do bus rides and shit like that. I do bike rides. I was going to say bug rides. What the fuck is a bug ride? Shit, right? What the hell? Time to smoke. Anyways, right? To show y'all, right, what the community is, and I'm gonna start going around and start talking to different people, even people without for that one, I'm gonna have to get out my shell a little bit. I'm gonna practice with the people within my community, chill, and just start asking questions when I go live and shit like that outside. Like, as crazy as it is, but yeah, because we're looking for improvement. See, I'm a leader of my community. I'm the block captain, right, in my hood, in my community. I'm responsible, right, for the park, for the block parties, for the closing of the blocks, for keeping the community clean, for the ecosystem within my community, right? I'm responsible for, when shit pops off, call the cops, like, they come knocking on my door, hey, yo, listen, man, this is happening, boom, 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 listen. So I do a lot. So it's crazy as it is. That's why I be doing these lives, right? Because I be listening to these conversations. So I just come on here and I just sometimes, I just, how can I say? I just be having morning or afternoon or evening lives with y'all, right? And I just put my thoughts out there, right? We just be having morning thoughts, afternoon thoughts, evening thoughts. I just put it out there. What I think that could be a solution or what I think could improve, right? Because we cannot change the world. All right, I'm not trying to change nobody. I'm not trying to convert nobody. I have no religion. I believe in God, nothing more, nothing less. All right, and in order for us to see, find the answers that we're searching for, we have to seek inside. Like, shout out to the word, right? Like he says, we was taught to search outside of us when it's within us that we have to seek.
Yeah, Tracy and Jacqueline, without a budget, we don't know
So
how
as
much.
y'all can see, right, we're having issues, right? Governor Josh Shapiro speaks on Pennsylvania budget as SEPTA prepares for cuts and fare hikes. And I was just talking about that. A lot of families cannot afford, especially, listen, West Philadelphia is going to suffer the most here in Philadelphia. All right? Because a lot of families cannot afford to pay for Ubers and Lyfts and cabs and, other people to take their kids to work or go to work. As crazy as it is, we're going to have to take it back to the way, our grandparents did it, our parents did it. You see where I'm coming from? Either put your child on the yellow bus because it's not just for kids with special needs, all right? The yellow bus is there for parents that can't afford buses, transportation, and all that, all right? It's there for people that need it, all right? But it's been called the, slow bus for so long that people don't even know that it's used for other things, all right? That yellow bus that y'all call the slow bus, all right, can help you get to and from school. On some real shit. You can go to school on the yellow bus, come home on the yellow bus. And it's free, something the government pays for. But a lot of people are too ashamed to use the yellow bus. All right? With the way shit is going and all these budget cuts that they're having, man, I tell people the same shit. They be like, oh, you was in a slow class. No, I wasn't in a slow class. Did I have help? Because I have, I needed help with math as I was growing up. And as I got older, I learned, right? I don't have dyslexia and reading or none of that. I was a straight honor roll student and straight A's until I hit high school. All right? But I had problems with math. I had issues with math. I couldn't comprehend math. You see where I'm coming from? So that led me to lash out a little bit, when it came to school and stuff like that too, because I didn't have the proper help. But once they figured out what my issue was, I did have a teacher that would come in, right, and pull me out of class when it was time to take like a test and it was the math part, or when we was doing math class and, things like that. I did have a teacher. It was called special ed included, yes, but because of that one subject. You see where I'm coming from? But when it came to reading, history, language arts, comprehension, and all that, straight A's, straight fucking A's. Math was my issue. First of all, I don't like math. All right. I feel as though it's not really needed unless you, have a business or, you're dealing with certain shit that involves math. Listen, when it comes to cooking and baking, I feel as though, yeah, numbers are involved in there. Yes. It's involved in cooking and baking. But guess what? I use science. And even though math is in there, as crazy as it is, I like science more. Now, if you mix up math into the science, then maybe it might draw my attention. But as long as I could count, I know multiplication, addition, fuck division, man. Listen, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. Me and division don't get along to this day. As crazy as it is, I understand fucking physics. Why? I don't know. Why I understand physics? Physics is a whole different level of math. Right? And it's broken down differently. What's crazy is motherfuckers still think that 2 times 2 is 4. But you know what? I'm going to leave that the fuck alone. Because then they're going to say, Ray, you a conspiracy theorist now. Ray, you this. And I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. On some real shit. We just need to do our research. And that's why I always constantly tell people, don't just go by what I'm saying. Go do your research, all right? Because I'm not perfect. I'm beyond perfect. Hey, beautiful one said she rode the bus. Man, I ain't no shame in, riding the bus. On some real shit. There ain't no shame. And that's some real shit. But let's listen to what they're saying about the Pennsylvania budget battle. All right.
Much of this proposed funding SEPTA might get, if any, as it faces what it has called a death spiral. There's been very little information about what's happening behind the scenes in budget talks over this past month. So today we took this opportunity to ask the governor about what is happening and what riders need to know.
We're getting there. We're making progress.
Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro today in West Philadelphia, talking about the work in Harrisburg to agree on a budget now more than a month overdue. Hanging in the balance, money for SEPTA, which says it needs the millions of dollars Shapiro proposed. And without them, SEPTA's planning cuts this month.
You said you're making progress.
Yeah.
Do you have an agreement on transit? Do you have an agreement on transit?
So I'm not going to get into negotiating the specifics of it here in this setting. I can tell you that the leaders who are on the table, myself, Leader Bradford on behalf of the House Democratic Caucus, Leader Pittman on behalf of the Republican caucus in the Senate, we all understand the issues that need to be resolved in order to reach a final agreement. I think we're working together respectfully to get that done.
Shapiro says he knows it's frustrating.
I also acknowledge that we're, working at a time where we not only have a divided legislature, we've got a lot of division in our society, and finding that common ground, that's critically important. It's taken.
Listen, you and your family, the Shapiros, are nothing but fucking frauds. All right. Listen, where the fuck was you at when Mayor Parker was going through it, right? With the employees of the city and all that shit, with DC 33 and all that. Where the hell were you at? Why didn't you step in? What the fuck was you doing? You finally got out your vacation and you're over here talking shit that you don't even mean, giving broken promises like the goddamn commissioner. Like, is you serious? Where the fuck have you been at? Now you want to pop up and talk about the budget cuts. Motherfucker, where the fuck was you at?
Longer than I would like, but I think we're going to get there, and we understand the important issues that need to be resolved.
Given that, have you moved on anything since you introduced that budget?
I'm not going to negotiate the budget here in this setting.
So why did you come out? You're not going to negotiate the budget right here in this setting. I hate when y'all do that shit. You ain't shit. This motherfucker is corrupt. I don't know why y'all voted for him, but y'all want to go down Sherelle Parker's throat. Like, is y'all fucking serious? This piece of shit is who y'all... Boy, you know what? Listen. Shapiro in the budget battle, right? Is Pennsylvania's budget delay a political power play or a betrayal of working class commuters? Context: the budget is over a month late, and SEPTA riders face a service cuts and fare hikes by August 24th. Solution, all right? I'm gonna give y'all a solution. Demand emergency legislations that prioritize transit funding and essential infrastructures, not a bargaining chip. Mobilize public pressure through rider coalitions. I hate that I can't pronounce certain words. And digital campaigns targeting key legislators. This is what we got to do as the people, and aim our message to them. All right. Why are Philly's most vulnerable communities always first on chopping block when Harrisburg stalls? And Harrisburg, right? It's the Harrisburg's where that money comes in. All right, y'all. All right. SEPTA cuts will disproportionately, right, affect low-income rider students and essential workers, right? We need to push for equality audits and state budget allocations, my bad. Advocate for a transit justice amendment, right, that protects funding for systems serving marginalized populations. Shit, I hate that I'm stuttering right now. Is Governor Shapiro's $153 million lifeline to SEPTA a bold move or a temporary band-aid masking deeper neglect? And I feel as though that is both. It's bold, right, and is a temporary band-aid. And people don't even peep that. Shapiro diverted federal highway funds to SEPTA, but it only delays the crisis until July 2025, right? Where's the call for a permanent funding mechanism? like a dedicated transit tax or a public-private partnership that shields SEPTA from political gridlocks? Am I asking the right questions? Am I bringing, the right solutions to the table? Should SEPTA be held hostage to political games or reimagined as a public good with guaranteed funding, right? Republican senators proposed oversight without financial support, demanding performances benchmarks before releasing funds. But what if they propose a transit accountability compact that ties oversight to guaranteed baselines, funding, ensuring transparency without sacrificing service? What does it say about our democracy when Philly schools and transit systems are left scrambling while lawmakers stall in silence? Schools are preparing to open without state funds, and transit cuts threaten student communities. Why not launch a no-budget, no-break campaign demanding lawmakers to stay in session until a deal is reached? Use digital storytelling to amplify student and commuter voices. And what I mean by that, use the social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, these new apps that are coming out to bring awareness to these situations. All right. Hopefully I broke it down better like that. All right. And like I told y'all, I write this before I come on live, because if not, I will go all over the place. Even with writing this, sometimes I still go off topic and I go all over the place. But it's because those topics, those subjects go hand in hand with what I'm talking about. As crazy as it sounds. Like, is SEPTA's death spiral a failure of leadership or a symptom of deeper systemic neglect, right? They reduced ridership inflation in the end of pandemic aid. And the end of pandemic aid have left SEPTA with a $240 million deficit, right? Why not advocate for a statewide transit resilience plan that includes fare stabilization, service expansion, and climate conscious infrastructure investment? But maybe I'm asking for a little too much.
One thing I can tell you we've all agreed on with absolute certainty is that we all have to compromise. And that's what we're doing right now.
While the governor wasn't willing to talk specifics about negotiations, I asked him about the deadline coming up August 24th when SEPTA.
I appreciate you, beautiful one. Guys, in a minute, I got 2 more videos to show y'all, and then we're gonna go right into Papa Duck. All right, and then we're gonna, listen, we're gonna talk about it. All right, Papa Duck has a great topic, and we're gonna talk about it. All right, I just wanted to put this out here, right, because everything is going hand in hand, and I wanted y'all to see a little bit of why we're bringing these topics out. All right, so shout out to Nate the Great for starting, how can I say, for inspiring me, right? Because on some real shit, Nate the Great has, sat here and poked around my noggin, boom, and I'm here with this live today. All right, with these questions that I have that we should be aiming towards the legislators. And shout out to Beautiful One for sponsoring the show, man. On some real shit, I appreciate you, Beautiful One. Shout out.
Plans to start cutting service.
I talked to somebody the other day who said he's planning to get a car, and he knows August 24th is his deadline to get this done. What do you say to folks who rely on SEPTA? Should they prepare for those cuts to go into effect?
If that person lives in Northeast Philadelphia, call Senator Pecosi, who's a Republican in the state Senate, and tell him to go back to Harrisburg and vote to pass transit funding the way the House Democrats did.
Oh, shit.
What I would say to every Philadelphian, every Pennsylvanian, is that I understand the importance of mass transit. I understand the need to get that done.
So I reached out to Senator Joe Pecosi. He gave me the following response. Quote, the people of the great Northeast want to see a better SEPTA. We want funding and accountability for results on fare evasion, safety, and cleanliness.
Just the Northeast? West Philadelphia doesn't have that many transit lines, and y'all about to take that shit from them. They're going to suffer more than the Northeast. They're going to suffer more than North Philly, South Philly. So let's be real. If I'm going to talk about one, I'm going to talk about them all. All right? Yes, we're all going to suffer. But guess who's going to suffer the most out of all these communities? West Philadelphia will.
End quote. This is the first time that I have seen the governor call out a specific lawmaker by name like this during this budget cycle. And I also asked the governor if he supports a bill sponsored by Senator Pecosi to add some oversight for SEPTA. He said he wants to make sure mass transit is funded and that there would be a broader dialogue of other legislation that might or might not go with it. Miguel?
So when are we going to see, him, Shapiro get on his ass? Because Shapiro should be on his ass. So Shapiro, is you going to put a petition, or do we have to start the petition? I'll suggest y'all start the petition, right, and aim it higher than Shapiro, all right? For real, for real. So let's continue. As y'all can see, violence in Philadelphia is not de-escalating, it's escalating.
20 minutes of nonstop news begins with new video in the search for a shooter. Police released these new close-up images of an armed teenager they say was running from the scene of a shooting at a crowded rec center. He's one of two people police are now looking for. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'm Jacqueline London.
I'm Tracy Davidson. 2 children, 2 teenagers, and a rec center worker were hurt Wednesday when somebody opened fire at the Christie Rec Center in West Philadelphia. NBC 10's Aaron Baskerville is live at the rec center, which remains closed this afternoon. Aaron, fill us in.
We've been here all day, Tracy. For the most part, it's been fairly quiet. Like you said, we're at the Christie Recreation Center near 56th and Christian. But look over here. This is a good sign, at least for the neighborhood. You can see some families and some kids are back on the playground, starting to enjoy this area once again. Like you said, the building over here, that is closed. That remains shut down. And the pool, too, where a bunch of kids were that day, that remains closed down as well. But over here, there was a special free food giveaway today. You can see over here, some of the boxes are still left over. This giveaway was done with purpose.
Let me make sure we get you some good ones, okay?
On the hunt for vegetables and fruit outside of Christie Recreation Center in West Philadelphia.
Okay, that one's good. How about some peppers?
It's a free food giveaway at 56th and Christian, at the exact spot where kids ran for their lives 2 days ago. What does this show the community, that this food giveaway is still here, even though what happened here?
They care. They care about the neighborhood. They care about the children, most important.
Investigators released new surveillance video today after 5 were shot at the recreation center Wednesday afternoon. They say it shows the shooter running away from the scene. Detectives also believe he's the same guy in the white tank top here moments later after changing his clothes. The gunman shot 4 children, the youngest being 10 years old, and a city parks and rec worker that day.
It's not normal for a young child to see what they saw that day.
According to police.
I mean, don't say it's not normal. It's something that's been normalized. All right. It's crazy that when you talk about these stories with kids out there, they used to it. They used to the violence. They used to the shootings.
There was some sort of fight Wednesday at the rec center. They believe a group of kids returned, including the shooter, and he opened fire with dozens in the pool and hanging out nearby.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Today, the focus remained on the neighborhood and those who call this area home. An increased officer presence was clearly visible outside the gates.
There's a lot of reporting from people in the community about who they think was involved. A lot of folks who are on the streets are reporting. I think the police department is getting closer to identifying.
So right there, right from the state senator, that is some good news. You're taking one last look here at the pool. We're told this pool is scheduled to reopen.
But there's issues with that. Let's keep going.
And now the details. There is a tragic update to a deadly house fire in the city's Mayfair section last week.
It's been, I don't know if these house fires are, provoked, right? Or they're just naturally happening. But in Pennsylvania, throughout Philadelphia, there has been a series of house fires, right? And factories and buildings burning up, catching fire for no reason, according to the media.
2 children who were rescued from the fire have now died. Video from the Citizen app shows the intensity of that fire, which was burning in a home on Sterling Street. A home officials say had no smoke detectors. Action News reporter John Paul is live at the scene of that fire, where officials were out today trying to prevent another tragedy like this from happening. John.
That's exactly right, Rick. They were trying to do that. I'm standing in front of the house where this tragedy unfolded just over a week ago. You can see it's boarded up. There's a tarp over some of the windows, but something new here now on the steps. Someone stopped by today and they left this balloon. This is in memory of the 2 children who tragically died because of this fire. They died over the weekend, and today firefighters came out to install smoke detectors in this neighborhood to prevent another tragedy.
It's really sad. Yeah. 3 people at once.
Just a week after this fire in Mayfair killed a woman, we've now learned that the 2 young kids pulled from this fire have now died from their injuries.
That's really sad. Those 2 kids that was rushed to the hospital and they passed away, and I heard about that.
We've learned the home where the 3 people were killed did not have any working smoke detectors.
As you all know, we had an incredibly tragic event that happened here.
Today, firefighters were back on Sterling Street, but this time they were trying to prevent another tragedy. They teamed up with the Red Cross to install smoke detectors and talk with neighbors about their plans to escape in the event of a fire.
This is crazy. I'm just a little curious on what's going on, right? Why are these buildings in Pennsylvania catching fire all over Philadelphia in different areas within communities?
Breaking news right now, Chopper 6 over the scene. You're looking at Front and Girard Avenue, right around the Girard Avenue L stop. We're being told that just before 5 p.m., a man was shot there in the abdomen. You can see Philadelphia police officers have the area cordoned off with caution tape. They're still there investigating. Again, we're learning that one man was shot in the abdomen. He was taken to the hospital. No word yet on his condition. But of course, this comes during the height of rush hour when people are taking the public.
Philadelphia police are searching for the suspect accused of shooting a man in broad daylight in Logan. It happened July 18th here along the 1300 block of West Loudon Street. Surveillance video shows the suspect inside of a corner store just before the shooting. He's then seen pulling something over his face, approaching a white car. Moments later, he ran away toward Old York Road. If you recognize the person in that video, you're asked to contact.
Trash talk.
So what's crazy is, right, amongst the violence rising and escalating in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania, right? Now, Philadelphia is facing issues from the Ohio workers that came to Philadelphia, Massachusetts workers that came to Philadelphia, right, to work while the sanitation workers were on strike in Philadelphia. According to Philadelphia, they don't have the funds to pay these workers.
Talk tonight from workers who were hired during Philadelphia city workers' strike. They say they were never paid to pick up trash during the DC 33 walkout. Well, it's been almost a month since the strike ended, and these workers are demanding to be paid. Action News reporter Brianna Gallagher has more.
We spoke with several Philly Future Track trainees. They are beyond frustrated. They say right now they are struggling to make ends meet.
Future Track did that. Every day we was out there. You know how much trash was out there?
While District Council 33 was on strike, it was trainees with the Philly Future Track program working 12-hour shifts, sometimes even longer, to help clean up the city. The program is a 6-month paid workforce development launched by the Streets Department. It provides job skill training and readiness.
When the city went on strike, we was the ones out here actually cleaning up the streets from Miss Sherrill.
The city and DC 33 reached a tentative agreement on July 9th, bringing those members back to work. Philly Future Track trainees say they still haven't received the money they earned during the 8-day strike.
They promised us that we was going to get the same pay that sanitation gets as a worker, and we didn't receive nothing.
The trainees say they jumped at the opportunity to earn higher wages, overtime, and holiday pay, with some cleaning up the parkway after the 4th of July, saying they were told the money was coming last Friday, then this Friday, but still nothing.
It's not fair enough. People have kids, people have lives, people have bills.
I just got off the phone with my landlord and explained to him that I don't know when the next time I receive money to pay him his rent.
Now, the city says in part, quote, the sanitation department is working with the finance department to provide supplemental checks to the Future Track trainees whose checks are short. We apologize this has happened, as the work Future Track trainees provide has been invaluable to the department.
We had to go through problems with sanitation because we was doing a job, and she can't appreciate us to give us our money. I'm heartbroken.
Shapiro, where you at, Shapiro? Huh? You just gonna leave this all on Parker, huh? Where you at, Shapiro? You not gonna take accountability, mofo?
I mean,
Miguel Martinez Valle here in the live center with an update on the shooting that happened over in the Christie Rec Center. And so Philadelphia police, that we know that they released video of suspects involved in that rec center shooting. And they also identified one of them, a 17-year-old Keon Kia, in connection with the shooting that happened on July 30th. Well, we are being told now by officials that this evening, Keon Kia turned himself in to the shooting investigation group, saying that he will be charged with 13 counts of aggravated assault, 13 counts of simple assault, and 13 counts of recklessly endangering another person and related offenses. Jackie.
That's crazy. Young, and already his life is in the system's hands. So, man, that's what I wanted to show y'all, right? So, ain't nothing de-escalating, all right? So, should black on black crime be considered a hate crime, especially with all of this that's happening within our communities? Give me 1 second while I get back to, because we were about to pull up the Papa Duck one. All right. So Papa Duck brought up a good question, right? A good topic, right? Social norms and insecurities governing our reality. It's all an illusion, and here's how, all right? So that is what Papa Duck put out, right? That's what we're going to listen to, right? But before we get to that, right, like, I want to remind everybody that I'm going to ask my provoking questions that challenge, right, and heal, right? Expose the illusion of social media norms, right? Unpack how insecurities are manufactured, and offer pathways to reclaim personal and collective power, all right? So we're here to have conversations to improve, all right? We're not here to bash or bring anybody down at all. And it's crazy because both Nate the Great podcast and Papa Duck, right, came out with two great topics back to back on some real shit, all right? And before we get started, right, I want y'all to remember, right, the blueprint was never lost. We just forgot to look. They didn't survive the whip, the war, the silence, just so we could scroll past our own reflection. Our ancestors didn't bleed so we could blend in. They sacrificed so we could see through the illusion, see past the shame, see the blueprint they attached, right, into our bones. But somewhere along the way, we traded wisdom for validation, truth for trends, and power for permission. Social norms taught us to shrink, right? Social norms taught us to shrink insecurities, taught us to obey, but none of it was real. The fear, the doubt, the silence, all illusions designed to keep us, how can I say, disconnected from the truth that was always ours. So I'm asking you, not just to wake up, but to remember the rituals, remember the resistance, remember the blueprint, because the system wants us confined, wants us, how can I say, docile. They want us dumb, but we're never meant to be digestible. We were meant to disrupt, to rebuild, to reclaim. So ask yourself, what part of an illusion are you still living in? And what truth are you ready to resurrect? What are you willing to learn about yourself? Are you going to stay stuck in the past and dwell in it? Or are you going to dive into rabbit holes, right, while you're searching the past and, how can I say, understand or try to understand the blueprint that our ancestors left behind? Your ancestor, my ancestors. Are we disconnecting from the illusion? Who benefits from the insecurities we're taught to carry? What normal behaviors are actually trauma responses dressed up as culture? We say that, like, for example, right, in relationships, right, We say that, we want a relationship like our grandmother or our grandfather that lasts. We want a relationship like Celia Cruz and Pedro Knight. But what are we going to do to get it? What are we going to do to have it? If reality is shaped by collective agreement, who decided what we agreed on and why? How do we mistake conformity, right, for safety, and what does that cost us? What part of your identity were chosen for you before you ever had a say-so? Because on some real shit, we wasn't born knowing how to do none of this. All of this is behavior that has been passed on, learned behavior, and much more. So shout out to Papa Duck, man. We're going to listen to what Papa Duck got to say real quick, right? And the shorty's going to give her input, man.
Yo, what's happening, man? It's your boy Papa Duck. Ladies, listen to me carefully, right?
I'm listening,
you go
bro.
get your ass done, your titties done. I'm going to tell you what you just did. All you did was move from one class of men to another, because not all men like big booties or big titties or the behavior that come with BBLs. There's not one person on earth that everybody loves, not even Jesus, nigga. And when you do that, when you go get a BBL and you living in today's society, which is the devil's playground, all you did is open up a portal for negative energy, dick pics, men that just want to sleep with you and this and that. Because women think men are stupid. They not. They may play stupid, but they not. Based off the way you act and what you put out, they're going to resonate with that. This shit is just like fishing. If a man uses money as a bait, he's going to catch women that's attracted to money.
Facts.
If he uses I don't want to say, but if he uses penis, let's say that, and he put that on the hook and he throw it out there, he's going to be attracted to promiscuous women that just like to have sex. Like, people got to understand, dog. And then on top of that, you're living in a world that is governed by people who's going to make sure.
Oatmeal. No.
Oh, we're the wrong channel?
No. Eggo
Oh, no.
waffles?
You trying to play me, huh?
Yes.
You both said yes. That they break up the black family. That women are going to act like hoes and bitches and
That's some real shit that he's saying right there, yo.
Sure. That they break up the black family. That women are going to act like hoes and bitches and niggas going to act like pimps and just motherfuckers that don't have no type of conscience, right? And today, you can't tell a woman shit. You can't tell a man shit.
He ain't lying.
Mission accomplished.
He ain't lying.
Mission accomplished. This is all they set
I gotta
out to
brush
do.
my hair, this shit.
And you have to think,
Here.
bro, you ain't do it. I didn't do it. Think about this, bro. You see Zeus channels. The Zeus channel, they got women fighting. You feel me? That shit is so degrading, bro. I don't even see how we as people allow that shit to happen. Because we look at it like, oh, that ain't our network. We can't start that. Yes, we can.
I keep saying that shit.
But this is what conditioning does. It makes you think you're powerless. Man, these people that paid millions of dollars to see black women fight each other. Young, old. And the crazy part is they done went to Africa with that shit. And the first thing a motherfucker gonna say is, that's they dumb ass. They conditioned to do it. They programmed to do it. They're not stupid people. They program people.
Facts.
Why you think they don't put on TV couples or people who've been together 30, 40 years? We want to learn from y'all. What did y'all do to persevere through all this chaos? Hell no.
He ain't lying, yo, on some real shit. Like, he is speaking the facts. Like, what insecurities do you carry that isn't even yours to hold? How does shame function as a tool of control in your community?
They don't make no money off of that. And I guarantee you, a lot of these couples that's married 20, 30 years, if they was living in today's society, I think that should be cut in half, over half.
Facts.
Because today's people ain't yesterday's people.
Real shit.
You have to understand, bro. When you program a person or program a society to do exactly what they are programming you to do, everything is going according to plan. Because you're living in a controlled environment that you don't control. I see a lot of these podcasts about relationships, right? And I listen to them. But one thing I don't ever hear them say is this. You living in an environment that is governed by people going to make sure women are portrayed as hoes and bitches, and men are portrayed as cheaters. And they're not good fathers and all this shit.
Yep.
You don't control the environment.
You don't at all. At all. So what would you believe about yourself if you never saw a mirror or a screen? How do we intentionalize oppression and call it, right, self-discipline? What does healing look like when it's not curated for social media, guys? Come on, let's get the discussion started. Leave your comments down below. Y'all more than welcome to have, conversation. Shout out to Beautiful One for sponsoring the show on some real shit, right? Y'all more than welcome to have a whole conversation with a shorty.
You playing a game that you can't win, nigga.
No, yeah, they are.
When people gonna realize that? You think we just stupid ass people? You think we just having all these problems with women and women having all these problems with men when we don't control the perception of none of this shit? We just trying to live it. I told y'all what a TV is. A TV is an electromagnetic device that promotes stimulation through sound and imagery. What you see, you feel that shit. It's like watching fucking porn. You get hard, your titties get hard, you get moist, you get on hard, and nobody even touched you. That's stimulation. So when you see women on TV acting like thoughts and hoes and dressing up like this, that's stimulation. When you see men on TV with gold teeth, whatever the perception they put up there on men, that's stimulation.
See, a lot of people nowadays don't use their brain. See, a lot of people don't even understand half the shit that comes out their mouth, the definition to certain words they say. That's some real shit.
That governs the way we see each other. Now I'm finna go a step further. I need y'all to stick with me on this one, right? You got a thing called social norms. What are social norms? Social norms are when you're in society and we basically teach each other what to do and what not to do, what's accepted and what's not accepted, right? So we basically is teaching each other how to become better thoughts, better hoish ass men. We're teaching each other that by what we see. Go look it up. It's called social norms.
And he ain't lying. Like, look at how these females are behaving. Listen, a home isn't even a home no more. On some real shit, the concept of a home has been, broken, has been torn to pieces. For real. Because now these little girls are looking up to, Cardi B's of the world, their mamas. There's a lot of females that I hear out here. Like, instead of me saying instead of me hearing them say I'm my daughter's role model, I hear them say, oh, my daughter look up to Cardi B or Nicki Minaj and stuff like that. I'm like, what? What? Like, is you serious? Like, oh, wait a minute. You should be your child's first role model. But we leaving the celebrities to raise our kids. Celebrities shouldn't be the ones raising our kids. And that's the problem. And then we created a world where it's believe all women, they say. And fuck the men. So could you picture a world without no men, no children, or no women? Or a world with just only men or only women? Or only children?
In this world of blame and shame, we point fingers, we play the game. But as our children cry in fear, we turn the blind eye, we shed no tears. Believe our women, they say, while our kids are led astray. Lost in darkness, lost in pain, yet their cries fall silent like the rain. It's a shame how far we've come, blaming all the men playing dumb. But our children need us near to wipe their tears and calm their fears. In this land of the free, water's the commodity for you and me. Can't you see? It's not fair, it's plain to see. People struggling to pay for something they need every day. In America where we say we're free, but water shouldn't come at a fee. A shorty just speaking in general about the things that seem so small. This ain't meant towards everyone, just a cry in the dark. In America where water is marked. Brothers and sisters, hear my plea. This is not about you or me. Our kids are the future, they hold the key. Wake up before we're met with defeat. In this world of chaos and strife, we must guide them to a better life. Teach them love, compassion, and light, so they can lead us out of this endless night. Let's unite as one strong force. For our children, let's stay on course. Together we can make a change and secure a better future in exchange. Y'all should have listened the first time they let the cat out the hat. Now it's a crime. Many are falling into a trap, thinking it's a game, but they full of cap. Some are ready and fully strapped, while others keep falling into the gap. The warning signs were clear as day, but some chose not to heed what they say. Now the consequences come to light. Those who ignored are in for a fight. Listen close and learn from this mishap. Don't be caught unaware, don't fall into the trap. From the wisdom of my elders, I learned women are strong, independent, and firm. But sometimes we need a helping hand to conquer challenges and make a stand. Independence is crucial, that's true. Yet together with a man we can pursue. Respect yourself first and foremost, so others will treat you like the most. Ladies, growing up, remember this advice. You're capable of anything you devise. But partnership and respect go hand in hand. Embrace your strength and make a stand. Memories of the past I couldn't see, now I understand. The wisdom they gave me, respect yourself first, that's the key. To earn respect from others is how it should be. A man's worth measured by how he treats his queen. Love and romance in the air, a beautiful scene. A woman's power to uplift or demean. In her hands lies a man's dream. Lessons learned from an OG so true. In matters of the heart, they know what to do. Love and respect intertwined like glue in a world where old-fashioned values still ring through. Peter Pan, Peter Pan, Peter Pan was a fairy tale. Now males want to be females without fail. Women want to be a man, it's a twisted tale. Flipping scripts and roles, they set sail. Fighting for roles, turning to moles. Making hits with their agenda goals. Targeting our kids, it takes a toll. To them it's a bliss, to us it's a black hole. They ain't trying to miss. Their agenda is the ultimate twist. Infiltrating young minds with their list, but we won't let them persist. I'm with women's rights, but what about men's too? Equality for all, it's long overdue. We want progress, we need to see both sides. Blame and shame won't help us unite. Don't label him a deadbeat without looking in the mirror. Sometimes it takes two to create rupture. Let's have conversations that include everyone. Empathy and understanding, the battles can be won. Men face struggles too, let's not forget. Their mental health matters, let's not neglect. It's time to break down walls and build bridges instead. Together we can strive for equality ahead. You scream for the police every time he come around, then scream child support abuse, playing victim in this town. Enjoy that check, boo, but remember what goes up must come down. The only time he's worthy is when he bails you out the mess you found. You play the game, manipulating hearts without a doubt, but karma's knocking at your door, there's no way out. You point fingers and shift the blame around, but in the end, it's your own chaos that you found. You dance with danger, living on the edge of lies, but the truth will catch up to you, no more disguise. The man you rely on to clean up your mess is so profound, will soon see through your facade and leave you astounded. Using a child as a weapon, it's a shame. A woman who lacks self-respect, I can't acclaim. Real men fighting for what they believe in, never in vain. Standing 10 toes down, bringing awareness to the pain. Respect is earned by how you carry yourself, not by tearing others down for personal wealth. Real men don't back down, they fight with honor and stealth against injustice and falsehoods that threaten our health. Let's uplift each other instead of tearing apart, supporting one another from the start. Real men stand tall with courage in their heart, fighting for justice and truth, playing their part. Here's for the men who share their truth, never afraid to stand tall in their boots, respecting our women, fighting for what's right, supporting our kids day and night. Real women out there blazing trails, men by their side never looking pale. Rights for all, let's keep the balance true. Men have a voice, let's listen to. In this crazy world where battles are fought, let's remember the men who give it all they've got. Respect to those who speak their stories loud. Together we stand strong and proud. Together we stand, united we'll rise, setting an example for young eyes. In every step we take, in every plan, guiding the next generation's hand. Leading by actions, not just by words, teaching them to fly like birds. Showing love and respect in all we do, for they're always watching, taking cues. Hand in hand, let's pave the way for a better tomorrow, starting today. Our children learn from what they see. Let's show them how great they can be. Let's be what our children need.
This is when people will not step out and do what they want to do because people may judge them. Because a person taught you to either do that or not do that. That's what social norms do. You forfeit your personal beliefs for the herd, right? So if they doing it, shit, I might as well do it. That's why they got shit like you can't beat them, join them. See what I'm saying? Psychologically, right? Understand this too, right? When the world does something to you so much till you love it, you start doing it to yourself. So the world's showing you that this is what beautiful women, they show their ass, they show their figure. So when the world shows you that, you start doing it to yourself. And when you start doing it to yourself, you've just became a partner with the motherfuckers who got you doing it in the first place. The ones who's governing social media, the ones who's governing these TV networks and these shows you see on TV. They told you to wear that shit. They told you should dress like this. They promote the social norms that they want society to attract to and participate in. So once the world start doing something to you that you love, you start doing it to yourself. You have just became in partnership with the motherfuckers who's oppressing you and who's creating this perception of what a man is and what a woman is. And you ain't had no motherfucking say so in this shit.
Real shit, yo. He ain't lying. Like, let's talk about rebuilding our reality on our terms, right? If you could rewrite, right, one social norm, what would it be and what ripple effect would it have? All right. How do we build spaces where authenticity isn't punished but protected? What does liberation look like when it's not just personal but communal? How can we teach, right, the next generation to question reality without losing their joy? What rituals can we create to unlearn the lies and remember our truth? Like, we need to really start getting, serious, asking deeper, unfiltered questions that demand truth, right? That reveal the psychological warfare behind norm. Confront the emotional cost of living in curated realities. Inspire radical reimagination and collective healing. All right? Psychological warfare is in plain sight. Who taught you that your worth was conditional? And what were they protecting? How do institutions weaponize our need to belong?
You participate in this shit, you don't even know what you don't even know why you participating in it. Who told you to wear makeup? You saw it. Who said, damn, bro, you should do this. You should tote these switches. Who told you this shit? It did not come from a positive source.
Nope, it did not.
This is why I say you are living in the devil's playground. If this shit was so much about righteousness and God and women becoming women, why the fuck they don't have schools that teach you etiquette, whatever that shit is, right?
Etiquette.
Meaning
Right.
schools that teach you how to behave in certain societies, in certain settings. You don't see that shit. These people capitalize off your ignorance. They sell you shit based off them telling you this is what you should.
They don't care, Papa Doug. They don't want to hear this shit, man. These motherfuckers ain't nothing more than Liliths in disguise and Peter Pans roaming around the world.
Where? This is what you should do. This is marketing, nigga. They use neuroscientists that studies behavior. They are in front of your decision makings based off the data. This is why we got social media. So I'm gonna do a whole nother video on social media. Shit gonna blow y'all mind. But listen. So what I'm trying to explain to you is this. Let's recap. You're doing things that society is telling you to do, but society is not ran by us as people. It's governed by motherfuckers at the top that put money behind, millions of dollars behind movies. The CIA, the ones who put money behind these shows, these dating shows.
Go look it up. Go look it up. I think I did a live on that not so long ago. I mean, yeah, it was. It was so long ago. It wasn't. Listen, it was been a minute. So let me take that back, man. I did a live on. I think the Pentagon, right? It sits here and they fund a lot of these Hollywood movies and TV series that we watch on some real shit. So with all of that being said, what's the difference between being civilized and being colonized emotionally? And how does capitalism monetize our insecurities and sell them back as solutions? What does it mean to be well-adjusted in a sick society? All right?
Dog, they just collecting data. You really think three dudes on the show trying to get the love of 20 women? They got these women going through all type of stupid ass shit for content. And this is what we call love. This is how we find love today. That means however God said y'all should do love, man, forget that. This is what we telling y'all to do. And you don't see God physically telling you this. You see BT, you see this network, Zeus network, and this is what I'm trying to explain y'all. This is why TV was created, to paint the perception in the mind.
Manipulation, something that word has been talking about for the longest. Manipulation through different tactics.
And this is what I'm trying to explain y'all. This is why TV was created, to paint the perception in the minds of the people. You live in an environment that doesn't even align with being in a healthy relationship. Don't you see that shit? Ain't nothing about today's society where you can wake up and get a positive saying, a positive environment. None of this shit about how to become in a successful relationship, how to become in a successful family, how to be with one person and stay there, because they strip you of your culture. Then when a bitch strip you of your culture, they handed you some other bullshit. So culture is what keeps things intact from what our ancestors and our older elders done. Nah, they stripped that shit. You better go read the Willie Lynch letter. Turn the old against the young. Well, turn the young against the old, I would say that. Turn the women against the men.
Man, you was not lying. Listen, man, I couldn't have said it better poetically.
Karma just catches. In the shadows we see a love so pure and meek, but all that's left is a ghostly echo, a memory bleak, longing for a bond that's true in this world so cold and weak, yearning for the love we knew before the all turned antique, lost in illusions of affection, bleeding like the mist, hollow hearts yearn for connection, any realm dismissed, seeking solace in echoes of the past where love truly exists, but all we find are mere reflections of what loved ones kissed. Amidst the ruins of our hearts we search for something real, yet all we grasp are faded echoes of what used to appeal in this world where love has become just a commodity to steal. It's just a little food for thought.
And like I said, it was better said poetically. Like, man, shout out to Papa Duck, man. Like, he is bringing every aspect of it, even the emotional cost of the illusion. So what part of yourself that you bury to be accepted, and are they still screaming? How do we confuse silence with peace and obedience with love, guys? What does it feel like to perform strength while dying inside? On some real shit. Because a lot of us, right, have a tendency of, how can I say it, pretend like we're smiling, right, on the inside, while deep down, right, we dying. Like we sit here and tell the world that we're happy, right? But in reality, right, we're not. You got people out here that are bringing drama while telling you, right? They tell you not to bring the drama. They say, oh, you got to keep it light. But they don't even realize while they here fucking with you, messing with you, that you could be going through the same shit. That every night, right? Every night I'm fighting these demons in sight. Whispers in my mind that echo and shout. While I'm smiling on the surface, I'm breaking without. We're sharing the laughter, but what's underneath? Y'all know what's underneath? A battlefield of sorrow, a war with no peace. All right, guys? We're warriors in silence, but nobody knows how the pain grows, and it grows, and it grows each day. That pain we carry, it grows, and we make it grow every single day. What does it feel like to perform strength while dying inside? How many of our dreams, right, are survival strategies, not soul desires? All right? How many of your dreams are survival strategies? Not, dreams that, that you've had because you've accomplished something you've desired. What does your body know that your mind keeps trying to forget? All right? Can you try reimagining reality without permission?
This is in the Willie Lynch letter, bro. And that shit still reigns free I mean, say still reigns today. You have to understand, why do we have these problems? You're not a white person, bro. You're just gonna accept whatever put in front of you. You really think men stupid? You think women are stupid? You think that we can't have a successful relationship? You can't when you are living in an environment that is owned and governed by a group of people that's going to make sure that y'all fail. You must understand, dog. Family is the only thing and the only bond that you have to survive in this fucking demonic ass world. And these people have done an amazing job making sure that all families are broken, making sure that fathers can't get to their children, putting the perception in the women's head that the women are the ones that should have the kids, when statistically, go look this up, because I know y'all gonna chew me out about this shit. Statistically, men raise children better than women. When you give a person too much of anything, it ain't good. Too much love ain't good. Too much money ain't good. Too much of anything ain't good. You must understand the equilibrium of that. All right? So this is why I say we're going to...
And that's what people fail to understand. The equilibrium. All right? They do. They really do.
We'll have these back and forth conversations when at the end of the day, you, me, them, those, none of us control the society we live in. We are participants in another man's society, bro. Once you understand that, bro, and these people are out to kill us. They're out to destroy us to the point where we destroy ourselves because we don't know no better. We trust their schools. We trust their religion. We trust everything about these people. But not one person has said, why do these people love us so much when we know they don't?
That's some real shit, man. On some real shit. They told me to be strong, but only in ways that didn't scare them. So I smiled through the burn. But what if strength is the scream, not the silence? All right? Like, man, we gotta start rewriting the scripts within our lives first. Stop worrying about trying to fix someone else's life. Because you can't do that if you ain't fix yours. How can you even fix somebody else's life? How can you render something that wasn't, given to you, shown to you, taught to you?
Why do we go to their schools? Why do black athletes don't just get their money together and we build our own schools? Why? Why do they depict us under the negative light that they put us on TV?
I asked the same question.
They put us on TV. They put us on this. Or they do this. They make us look like assholes in the news. And then first they will say, well, we do it to ourselves. Let me explain something to you. If everything you know was taught to you by the same people that gave you your education, and these are the same people that's running the society that you're in, if anything was broken or fucked up, who do you blame? I didn't teach you. Your mama didn't teach you.
Motherfuckers be blaming God for the problems around us, and the devils, and they blame the devil for our mistakes. That's what they do.
They taught you. They taught you some bullshit education and put you in a bullshit environment, an environment that made sure you're not going to have the right resources, education, or understanding to help yourself get out of your current situation. Now that's some real news for your motherfucking ass. I keep telling y'all this, bro. We're not stupid people. We just programmed people. If you could program, or if you could teach a fucking whale to hop up and jump and do all type of tricks in SeaWorld, you don't think you can teach humans to not shoot and kill each other? Who invented these guns? Who invented weaponry that destroys human flesh?
Again.
Only demonic people does this shit, bro. It's nothing about these people that says, I love you or I care for you.
Real shit. It's not. Papa Duck ain't lying. Like if reimagine, right, reality without permission, right? If we stop chasing perfection, what would we start creating? What does freedom look like when it's not filtered through respectability? How do we build a culture where vulnerability is currency, not weakness? What would a society look like if it was designed by the healed, not the powerful? How do we honor our ancestors by refusing to repeat their oppression in new costumes? All right? Like, these questions should help us uncover ancestral wounds disguised as personality traits, challenge the spiritual cost of assimilation, demand a reckoning with the system we unconsciously uphold. Like, what generational lie did you inherit that still governs your choice?
Oh, I want you to have a better life. This is their system, bro. Everything that you know comes from them. Everything. You living in a house, the way it looks, the way it's shaped, because of them. You driving cars because of them. You spending money because of them. Everything that you do is because of them. How the fuck we gonna blame each other? You tell me.
Real shit.
You fucking tell me. You don't think that we can get together and build a better society than what we're living in today? If you think that, that means you are too far gone from being brainwashed from the version of a society that they already gave you. You done. You locked in box. You out of there. You don't think we can come up with a better society? Better equality? You got churches making millions of dollars a year, bro. You got people sleeping out there on the fucking under the bridge.
Real shit.
You got drugs in the streets. These same people invented them drugs. I don't know now nigga that can take a coca plant and make cocaine from it. You tell me. I'm waiting.
Listen, man, I did a live one day, man, speaking on that, right, on how the Mexican president, right, not the new one, she's a woman, but this was the bull. I forgot, I think when was it, like 2 years ago, right? I think it should be uploaded on one of my videos, if I'm not mistaken, right? And he exposed the politics in America. I'm sitting here, I was like, oh shit, he just spilled the whole beans. Like, come on, man. Like, guys, how much of your identity is a survival mask, right? Passed down through bloodline. What did your ancestors sacrifice that you're still apologizing for by shrinking? How do we confuse generational trauma with cultural pride? What rituals have we abandoned that once protected our truth?
I don't even know a nigga that can identify a coca plant. But it's a lot of cocaine on the streets.
Yep.
I don't know now a nigga that can make fentanyl.
A lot of
that shit on the streets. So what I'm trying to explain and tell y'all is, bro, y'all, we blame each other because we can't see them. The motherfuckers that's doing this to us, we can't see them. Out of sight, out of mind. This is by design. So the only people we can blame is each other. The only people, bro. You must understand these belief systems they installed in us and the way that we live today has been carefully crafted by a group of people who are going to make sure you are just where you're at, dumb, deaf, and blind and confused. And we blame each other. You see the churches, you see the preachers. Oh, these kids out here killing each other. Why, preacher? Who's putting the money up behind these record companies putting the money up, talking about shooting and killing each other? You don't see them pushing positive music. You can't go on the record labels rapping about no liberating your people and they cut the check. Fuck no. You know how much money they make off your ignorance? You know how much money they make off you out here running around doing what you're doing to each other? It keeps them in control.
That's some real shit. But people don't want to wake up. People don't want to listen. They don't want to ask these right questions right here that would make a difference. What parts of your spirit did you trade for acceptance, and was it ever worth it? How did we mistake spiritual numbness for maturity? On some real shit, because that's what we're going through, spiritual numbness. All right. And for y'all to understand this philosophical part of it, man, I suggest y'all go check out the word. All right. What does it mean to spiritually colonize? What does it mean to be spiritually colonized? Right. And how do we reclaim our soul's language? All right. Where we're from. Do you know what tribe you belong to? What is your native tongue language? On some real shit. How do we rebuild scaredness, right? In a world that profits from our disconnection. What does liberation feel like in the body, right? Not just in the mind. Because some of us still got chains. We have not broken free from the chains of society to be who we truly are meant to be.
And it keeps us in a state of chaos. See what I'm saying? This shit's simple to figure out. Just gotta think. Think. That's it. Think, understand, and just know we're being targeted in so many ways, bro. I can't even get on here and speak about. Just being around other negative people governs how you may act and not act. Right?
All right, guys. If those of you watching, man, help a shorty by, sharing her videos to help bring awareness, man, because of these type of topics, man. YouTube does not push our lives, all right? Especially when we, speak on these topics. So if you are watching, right, so the best way to support a shorty is, listen, man, share the video, help a shorty, bring awareness, right? Listen, I'm speaking on Papa Doug. Like, this is one of my best ways of showing him my support, right, and bring awareness on his message too, right? Let's go even deeper into the conversations. Let's ask deeper questions that would shake tables, right? That would touch, on the minds of people and get them to start thinking.
We figured out ways to control our thoughts through sound and through light. We don't even know about it.
They don't.
This shit I can get on here and talk about, I promise you, bro, to blow your fucking mind, and most people won't comprehend or understand it. This is why people like chosen people go through so much shit. Cause you're in a cesspool, you wearing all white, fighting through a cesspool of people covered in shit.
Yo, you ain't lying. And the problem is, right? The problem is, Papa Doug, right? People don't see the illusion. The delusion ain't just a lie. It's a lifestyle. That's what it is. To them, they don't see that as a lie. They have it. They use it as a lifestyle. They taught me to fear my own reflection, told me my rage was too loud, my joy too wild, my truth too inconvenient for polite society. But I'm done being this, how can I say, digestible. Reality ain't real if it requires my silence. See, that's what I had to say. I had to say to myself when I looked in the mirror, and I didn't like the person staring back at me. This isn't me. This is not who I am. All right. So, like I said earlier, right? They didn't listen. Our ancestors, right? They didn't. How can I say become martyrs, right? They didn't sacrifice themselves, right, to leave behind the, how can I say, a blueprint, right? The blueprint that was never lost. We thought it was lost. We just forgot to look. All right? They didn't survive the whip, the war, the silence, just so we could scroll past our own reflection. Our ancestors didn't bleed so we could blend in. They sacrificed so we could see through the illusion, see past the shame, see the blueprint they attached to our bones. But somewhere along the way, we traded wisdom for validation, truth for trends, and power for permission. Social norms taught us to shrink, insecurities taught us to obey. But none of it was real. The fear, the doubt, the silence, all illusions designed to keep us disconnected from the truth that was always ours. So I'm asking you not to just wake up, but to remember the rituals, remember the resistance, remember the blueprint, because the system wants us confused, wants us docile, all right? They want us dumb, but we were never meant to be digestible. We were meant to disrupt, to rebuild, to reclaim, all right? So ask yourself, what part of an illusion are you still living in? And what truth are you ready to resurrect? But the crazy part is we all know that people prefer, how can I say, a sweet lie over the bitter truth. What does liberation feel like in the body, not just the mind?
You feel me? You're going to have it the hardest. People ain't going to understand you. They don't know what you're talking about. They ain't trying to understand you because these motherfuckers that's running the world has stolen knowledge and they've used it against us. And this is why they fight as soon as you come out the womb to get control of this. And we think they just created schools because they love us.
Real shit.
Or they created Section 8 and all these because they love us. Bitch, God put all this here for us for free. We look at animals like they stupid, but to me, humans have the most knowledge and understanding and consciousness, but do the dumbest shit.
Real shit.
So to me, that's basically like equalizing the same consciousness and understanding as animals. You don't see animals putting guns on motherfuckers. They run around trying to eat to live, but at the same time, they don't do the dumbest shit that humans do. And when you think about that shit, make a lot of sense. For us to be so smart and got all this knowledge and understanding, we still do the dumbest shit.
You ain't lying,
because
Papa.
there's going to be a group of people, demonic people, where they worship the devil, and these same people telling you to go worship the opposite, the polarity.
Real shit.
You are a god, bro.
They don't want to hear that, yo. They don't want to hear that. Like, they don't even understand. Like, I want to ask all of y'all, right, before he finishes saying what he's going to say, right? What systems do you unconsciously uphold just to feel safe? How do we dismantle oppression, right, without becoming addicted to outrage? What does accountability look like when the system itself is the abuser, right? Or I'm going to put it like this, the people within the system, all right? How do we build futures that don't just resist the past, but rewrite it? What does it mean to be dangerous in a world that fears awakened souls? All right.
Ma'am. And the only reason you'll say that I'm lying is because their indoctrination out trumps what I'm telling you. But if you think and use your common motherfucking sense, you will see what I'm talking about. But it's safe for everybody. Anyway, I ain't made for the video a bit long, but it is. It is. It's your boy Papa Duck. Make sure y'all put your comments on the bottom of this video. This is a community where we learn from each other. No disrespect. We just here to dialect, speak,
teach
talk,
one.
And say what we feel and learn. Learn, bro. Like I tell you, man, in order for you to be found, you must first be lost.
That's some real shit,
Peace.
Papa Duck. And listen, man, shout out to Papa Duck. Shout out to Nate the Great podcast show on some real shit. Listen, they were spitting some gems, right? And listen, we've talked about these things time after time, right? And I do hope that these questions, you know, how can I say, stir up conversations that could build up nations on some real shit, right? And I did leave the link down below, but nobody hit the link to come up and, you know, give their input or have a conversation with a shorty. So with that being said, man, I'm going to just leave a message to my people, right? It's time to wake up. Our ancestors didn't bleed, fight, and die for us to be lost in confusion, all right? They left us a blueprint attached in struggle, spirit, and survival. But somewhere along the way, we stopped reading it. We started making mistakes. We started, how can I say, mistaking pain for normacy, all right, and violence for culture. Should black on black crime be considered a hate crime? Let's sit with that, all right? Not to shame, but to understand. But because when we harm each other, we're not just breaking bodies, we're breaking bonds. Bonds our ancestors built with blood. Bonds meant to protect us from a world that already sees us disposable. But here's the twist. Social norms and insecurities are governing our reality. They tell us to be, right? They tell us who to be, how to act, what to value, and it's all an illusion. We've been programmed to fear, right? We've been programmed to fear our own reflection, to compete instead of connect, to destroy instead of build, and the system profits of every wound we inflict on each other. So let's ask the real questions. Who taught us to hate ourselves and each other's skins? Why is survival twisted into self-sabotage? And how do we reclaim the blueprint our ancestors left behind? This isn't just about crime. It's about consciousness. It's about breaking the illusion and rewriting a narrative. It's about choosing healing over harm, unity over ego, truth over trauma. We are not each other's enemy. We are each other's answer. Let's remember who we are. Let's honor let's honor the blueprint. All right, guys. Let's build what they died dreaming we'd become. But sometimes I guess it's impossible. It's impossible. All right. So before I end this live, right, let me read y'all a poem. Let me look it up real quick so I can read it to y'all that represents this topic. All right, so while I find my poem real quick, right, guys, if you don't laugh while y'all listen to this, man, boy, y'all tripping, man. I was just having some fun, trying to like do a little freestyle like Frankie told me. And man, this is what I came up with. I ain't no fucking rapper, but I sure as hell could fucking write. And it's time to share the struggle. Let the healing begin. We're stronger together. Let's lift each other high. In a world full of pain, we can learn to fly. It's us versus the system. We're breaking the mold. Fist in the air. Yeah, we're taking control. No more silence, no more fear. Together we rise. Let them know we're here. Riders for life. All right, y'all. Man, I don't know what I was thinking, man. But listen, man, I want to, not just leave y'all with that message I have for y'all, right? I want to leave y'all with this poem called Shattered Reflections, all right? They told us they told us what to wear, how to speak, how to shrink ourselves so we couldn't scare the system. They sold us mirrors, but broke them first. So we all saw what fragments of who we could. So all we saw was fragments of who we could have been. Money, fame, and violence, they dressed it up as freedom, but it's just a lash with gold-plated links. We fight each other like crabs in a barrel, never asking who built the damn barrel. Our ancestors whisper through cracked glass in silence. This ain't the blueprint we bled for. This ain't the dream we died chasing. Social norms, just chains with a smile. Insecurities, just seeds they planted so we never grow wild. But we were born wild, born brilliant, born to bend reality back into truth, to smash the mirror, see past the lie. The illusion is loud, but your souls know why. All right, guys. With that being said, I hope that y'all gain something out of this, that y'all understand why we, do these open panel lives, right? Like I told y'all, man, we're looking for improvement, all right? We're seeking for improvement. A better us, a better you. A better you, a better me. A better me, a better world. A better world, a better you. A better you, a better world. All right? So with that being said, man, like till next time, and a shorty out, man. Just remember, these panels are always open, all right?
If I knew then what I know now, sometimes I wonder, would I be the same or would I be different? A shorty still believes in fairy tales and imagination that lasts forever. Sometimes I wonder if I turn back the hands of times, fix my mistakes, will things change? Oh Lord, guide me through this journey of life. Help me see the light through all the pain and strife. I wake up in the morning feeling lost and alone, wondering if life's worth living or if I should grab the throne. The weight of the world on my shoulders is hard to bear. I see no change, it's like nobody cares. I look in the mirror, see a stranger staring back, lost in the world that's spinning off track. I ask myself, is this all there is, or should I give up and let the darkness win? I see no change, just the same old game. Wake up in the morning, I ask myself, is life worth living, or should I blast myself? I see no change, just the same old pain, but I know deep down, I gotta break these chains. Sometimes I wonder if I turn back the hands of time, fix my mistakes, will things change? Oh Lord, guide me through this journey of life, help me see the light through all the pain and strife. If I can go back in time, tell my younger self it's gonna be fine. Embrace the challenges, let your light shine. You'll grow and learn, just give it time. Hey young me, listen up, don't be afraid. Life's a journey, mistakes will be made. chase your dreams, don't let them say. Believe in yourself, you'll make the grade. Don't stress about what others say. Stay true to yourself every day. Love deeply, laugh often. Don't delay, cause in the end, it's how you play. Be kind to others along the way. Spread love and positivity each day. Don't worry about what they may say, cause your uniqueness is here to stay. Sometimes I wonder if I turn back the hands of times, fix my mistakes when things change. Oh Lord, guide me through this journey of life. Help me see the light through all the pain and strife. If I can meet my younger self, I tell her not to be afraid, that courage will be her wealth and bravery will never fade. Don't fear the challenges ahead, for you'll face them head on. Your inner strength will dawn. You'll grow up to be a warrior, standing tall, unafraid and strong. A parent, a role model, and inspired, fighting for what's right all along. Sometimes I wonder if I turn back the hands of time, fix my mistakes when things change. Oh Lord, guide me through this journey of life. Help me see the light through all the pain and strife. Looking back on all the roads I've traveled, regrets and lessons learned along the way, but still holding on to hope and faith that with God's grace, a brighter day will come our way. I see no change at all. I'm stuck in this cycle, feeling so small. I ask myself, is this all there is, or should I just end it all with a final kiss? I try to stay strong, but it's getting harder each day. The pain and the struggle won't seem to go away. I'm tired of the lies, tired of the deceit. I see no change, just defeat after defeat. I wake up in the morning feeling lost and alone, wondering if life's worth living or if I should grab the throne. The weight of the world on my shoulders is hard to bear. I see no change, it's like nobody cares. Deep down I know I must fight. I won't let the darkness consume me. I'll shine my light, I'll rise above the pain, I'll break free from these chains. I'll find my purpose and I'll make a change. Sometimes I wonder if I turn back the hands of times, fix my mistakes when things change. Oh Lord, guide me through this journey of life. Help me see the light through all the pain and strife. Sometimes in life we make so many mistakes, and we think that when we fall, we're not able to get up. We listen to those that, talk in our ear, tell us that they, are there for us. And at the end of the day, what's crazy? A friend ain't nothing but $1 in your pocket. Family is what you make of it. Family is not who you're born into. Alright? So we need to pick ourselves up and do what we gotta do. Life is not for you to sit around and wait for Superman to come and save you. Only you